best today. Be your best today. No regrets on 3. 1, 2, 3.
All good.
No break.
Taking himself, and Thorson's running, and he's got open field in front of him. And this is going to be a touchdown run for...
He's going, and he's going to go all the way to the end zone. No regrets on 3. 1, 2, 3.
No regrets.
Jack's going to be chased, holds on to the football, and that is going to be brought down without a helmet all the way back into Logan.
A clash of two 2-0 teams about to take place as the 10th ranked team in the land, the Wheaton Thunder, take on their CCIW rivals 2 hours away on the Iowa border. It's the Augustana Vikings. Hello from up top, alongside my co-hosts in Doug Rothschild, I'm Aiden Kong. And Doug, the Thunder entered this matchup after taking care of Illinois Wesleyan 47-16. The Thunder compiled 569 yards against the Titans, but they were really balanced with their rushing attack and passing attack.
Yeah, they've done a great job on offense. We knew they were going to be good on offense with a veteran offensive line that has returned, and the skill players they have coming back with Gio Weeks, who's one of the very best running backs in the country. You know, Gio's picked up this year right where he left off from a year ago, and so far he's averaging 6.6 yards per carry, has 2 touchdowns. All of last year he averaged 6.5 yards a carry, so he's right where he was. 141 yards a game through 2 games. He also catches the ball out of the backfield. So we knew that the Thunder had some skill guys on offense, and they're going to be able to put up points. The big surprise offensively has been Ben Thorson, the quarterback, who's a new starter. He's a veteran guy. He's really a senior, or even a 5th-year senior. He's been around a long time. He transferred back from Taylor. Has been on the roster. Sat behind Will Bowers last year, and he's done a great job. You know, he's been efficient with the ball. He's averaging 75% on his completions, which is better than Will Bowers. Will Bowers was one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the country completion percentage last year. And Ben Thorson's exceeding what he did a year ago. So he's been fantastic this year. They've taken care of the ball with no turnovers as an offense. So this offense has exceeded what we thought was already going to be a good offense. So the output in the first 2 games is not surprising.
And speaking of Ben Thorson, you talked about that completion percentage, 75%. That's actually second in the CCIW, trailing only Luke Lanen of North Central and 9th in the country. So a lot of questions was regarding Ben Thorson, his accuracy. Was he going to put the ball in the right position? And so far, Doug, I think he's checked that. He has pretty much checked that mark.
Yeah, and he's been impressive with his decision making as well. He's not made any bad throws, so he has no interceptions. He's only thrown 2 touchdowns, but that's in part because the success of the running game has been so good with the veteran offensive line. They're going to continue that focus tonight. Last year against Augustana, down in Rock Island, which was only a 10-point win for the Thunder, but the Thunder ran it for 327 yards. And so I talked to Jesse Scott before the game. They're going to try to get to run the ball, which is going to be their offensive mentality every game, is to try to dominate the line of scrimmage, run the ball. Gio Weeks is going to be a big part of that. Also, obviously, Karstens has been fantastic too. He takes the load off of Gio and gives Gio time to rest. Christian Karstens done a great job. He's averaging 81 yards a game. He's averaging about 5.5 yards a carry. He has 3 touchdowns on the year. He also catches the ball out of the backfield. So that's one going to be a big focus.
And speaking of Giovanni Weeks, as you mentioned, the last time these 2 teams played, Weeks did not find the end zone, but rushed for a career-high 268 yards on 37 carries. He broke Mark Lefter's record for the most total touchdowns in a career. Now he has 47, and he can still break multiple records. He's only 196 yards shy of Time Sola Otechu's record for the most rushing yards in a career. Otechu has 3,194 yards. Weeks 2,998 yards, only 2 yards shy of reaching 3,000. And he's also 5 rushing touchdowns shy of tying Chuck Schoner's record for the most rushing touchdowns in a career. That record, by the way, has stood for 74 years. Meanwhile, let's turn it over to the Thunder defense as Coach Nightingale.
We're going to go down to the field for the national anthem.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, that star-spangled banner yet waved o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And meanwhile, let's turn over to the Thunder defense, a veteran group led by Coach Nightingale. There are a lot of players to highlight, such as Riley Schwartz, Max Wilson, Clayton Reeves, and Johnny Elder, but highlighting just those guys does disrespect to how well this unit has played as a whole.
Yeah, they've done a good job. It's actually a lot of new players that have been in the program. Some of them are new, but one of their they have some great playmakers on this defense. One of the very best players and newcomers, Peter Johannick, the defensive end. He's right up there with 11 tackles on the year, 2 tackles for loss, 2 quarterback hurries. He's going to end up leading this team in sacks before the season's over, but he's a playmaker from the defensive end spot. Really active, hard to block, comes under blocks, gets around blocks, but he gets in the backfield. And then Johnny Eller at linebacker has been a great playmaker as well. Real great instinct for the football. And that's been a big difference in this defense, along with Schwartz and Wilson at the back end and Lawson Hagler's return from injury a year ago. We're going to go down to the field for the coin toss.
Augustana, you're the visitor. You have the call of the toss. Tails, heads, tails, heads. What is your call? What did he call? Tails is the call. It is tails. Augustana has won the toss. They have elected to defer. Wheaton will receive the ball to begin the first half.
All right, so Thunder, Augie wins the toss, they defer, so they'll get the ball to start the second half. The Thunder will start with the ball, and they're going to defend the west goal, which means they'll be going into the what's little breeze there is. A beautiful night for football, mid 70 degrees. A little bit of wind will be going from east to west, so the Thunder will start the game going into the wind a little bit. But we were talking about this Wheaton defense, and you've got a few playmakers on this defense, and Peter Johannick at the defensive end. Isaac Parrish is a new starter at defensive end. He's an athletic defensive end that gets in the backfield and is very strong and explosive as well. You have the 2 anchors in the middle, Jaden Ferlita and Christian Bonaquisti, who are veteran guys, have had a lot of playing time as starters here as well. But Eller and Johannick are playmakers, and on the back end, Max Wilson leading the team in interceptions. Big, long, lanky corner, 6'4", will cover the other team's best wideout. In most situations, they'll let him shut down half the field and try to combo up the other receivers on the other side.
Meanwhile, the Vikings enter this game after ordering a 70-burger, more specifically a 74-6 routing of Elmhurst, which broke a 103-year-old record for the most points scored in any Vikings game. We're about to get set and ready for this one, playing under the lights here at McCauley Stadium. Two 2-0 teams. Augustana trying to reach to 3-0 for the first time since 2001. Wheaton trying to go to 3-0 also for the first time since 2019.
Yeah, this is a good Augustana team. They have 20 returning starters on this team. And last year down in Rock Island, Wheaton beat them by 10 points. It was a 21-4. In fact, Augie was up 14-7 in the first half. It was 21-14 Wheaton at half, and then Wheaton ends up winning by 10. And Augie has 20 returning starters, including 10 super seniors, guys that are taking their COVID year. So a veteran team that knows how to play, and there's a reason why this team's 2-0.
And let's roll from McCauley Field. Back deep to receive. It is going to be Jack Allen who takes it from about inside his own 5. Look at this. Jack Allen has some space. Allen across the 40. Still going. Jack Allen inside the 30 and finally dragged down all the way to the 29-yard line. A huge play on special team for the Thunder.
Huge return and a big boost for this team. You love a special teams opener like that to give you great field position. The team's fired up. Already knocking on the door of the red zone here. Right off the bat. Great blocking, and Allen did a great job just turning the ball straight up the field. A little bit of over pursuit on the back end, and he just cut behind it. That's kind of a tough move to stop, but a great job by the Thunder to open the game.
They'll set up the Thunder at the Augustana 26-yard line for Ben Thorson with Giovanni Weeks in the backfield. Great opportunity for Wheaton to take advantage of it. Here's Thorson throwing to the outside. That pass is going to be caught. It's going to be Ben Bongo who's going to be dragged out of bounds at about the 22-yard line.
So they were actually trying to pop a deep one here. You'll see they're getting the wide receiver screen. You see Juska goes to block, but then takes off down the rail. And he wanted to hit him, but they covered him. And so he just dumped it off to Bongo with a great little 5-yard gain on first down. So they wanted to try to get something on the first play there.
Second down and 5 from the Augustana 21, and this time they'll hand it off inside Giovanni Weeks, plowing ahead close to that first down marker.
So you talk about this Augie front. They're all the same guys back, are all returning starters. The big difference, and this was a team that Wheaton also has the same offensive line. Wheaton ran for 327 yards last year down in Rock Island. The big difference is that linebacker number 50 is back. Tim Swaney, who's their leading tackler 2 years ago, was all conference. In 2021. Didn't play last year, but he's back in an animal in the middle.
Thunder 15 of 17 on third down. Here's Thorson looking to throw. He's got Bonga for his second catch, and he will pick up the first down, still going, and finally dragged down by Ruckus Hunkus.
So Swaney, 2 years ago in 2021, was an all-conference linebacker, had 92 tackles, led their team in tackles. He leads this year already through 2 games with 19 tackles. We saw this inflated Elmhurst score. A lot of that was self-inflicted by Elmhurst, who basically gave Augie 35 of the 70-something points just in turnovers and special teams. They gave up a punt return and a fumble recovery.
First down. They'll stay on the ground game. Giovanni Weeks plowing ahead inside the 10 now of Augustana.
Going to be a big focus, this Augie defense, to stop Gio Weeks and come up for the ball. That time you saw Johnny Breeden come out of his corner position to make the tackle. He's a 3-year starter. They got 6 3-year starters on this defense. A veteran group on the back end and up front, but they're going to pack the line of scrimmage and try to make Ben Thorson beat him with his arm.
That carry will take Giovanni Weeks above 3,000 career rushing yards. Only 2 other players have done that, including Oletechu. Meanwhile, here's Weeks again getting inside the 10, maybe to about the 6 or 5, depending on where the refs want to spot it.
And that's Johnny Breeden again stepping up from his corner position right in the hole. 2 DBs right there in the hole at 3 yards. That's tight coverage. Now, they don't have much room in the back, so they're not worried about getting beat deep when you're down inside the 7-yard line. But it's big third down right here for the Thunder. They want to come away with 7 here and not have to settle for 3.
Third down and 3. Looks like the Thunder
2 running backs.
The Wildcat, Giovanni Weeks, looks to be taking the snap. Nope, it's going to be Christian Carsons who instead takes it. Carsons looking for some space, cuts it back all the way down inside the 5.
Decision for Jesse right here. He has no hesitation. He's sending Ben Thorson right back out there. They're going to go for it on 4th and 1 from the 1. Two extra big guys coming in for Augie. They're going to bring in their muscle guys. Thunder have 2 tight ends in Juska and Vodacek.
Thunder 3 of 3 on third down this season. They rolled the dice when we saw them against UW Oshkosh
Wildcat again.
And yep, they are operating out of the Wildcat. And this time it'll be Giovanni Weeks who takes snap. He plows inside.
Touchdown.
And he's in for the touchdown.
Yeah, that big offensive line, they're just going to get him behind those horses. You got Trevor Gabriel, who's an All-American candidate at the center, Paul Fay and Nick Beard at the 2 guards, Elijah Nitz and Aiden Kingsbury. This is a veteran offensive line. All 4 of these guys have started games. Aiden Kingsbury is a transfer from Princeton, a big left tackle. He's 6'5", 304 pounds. He's out of Roseville, Minnesota, but he went to Princeton and then transferred here. So that is the strength of this offense, is this offensive line. And Jesse put his bet on those guys, and Gio and those guys paid it off.
3rd rushing touchdown for Giovanni Weeks.
No good.
Meanwhile, the extra point is no good for Mateo Jesh.
Yeah, the extra point troubles have been different kickers and the same problem. And not sure what's going on there, but haven't been able to get consistent extra point in quite a while. There's been some notable mishaps from the extra point world, and that's something they want to get cleaned up. But a little bit unusual is Mateo has been decent this year, but he missed on that one.
He was named to the CCIW Special Teams Player of the Week for his performance against Illinois Wesleyan. Misses there, but still caps off a 7-play drive, 26 yards set up by that great return by Jack Allen. And meanwhile, it will be the Augie Vikings who will have an opportunity to receive the ball.
Yeah, we'll get our first look at this Augustana offense. Again, a veteran group. Offensive line, their right tackle, number 77, is Kane Johnson. He's an all-conference performer. They got a couple great wide receivers in Jordan Vesey, and Bobby and Sarah are 2 playmakers. And then their running back, Tyler Ravelli, is averaging 9 yards a rush this year.
It'll be Braden Smith who takes it from about the 12-yard line. Smith, oh, what a cutback. Another special teams play, and Smith off to the races, still going down the sideline. Braden Smith all the way down to the 20-yard line. So 2 special teams plays from both teams.
Yeah, and the Thunder kickoff team has had given up a couple this year, big one. Now late flag comes out. Not sure what that's going to be, but really late flag coming out from the officials as both teams were mostly off the field. So interesting to see what this call is going to be, but a tough place to give up a big kick return on the opener.
The flag was thrown at about the Wheaton 18-yard line.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 37, defense, half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
That's Ty Gashko. Oh, no, it could be, well, I don't know if that's our kicker. If Josh Winnett was the kicker, is the kicker. I don't know if he kicked off. I think that was him that they called. And his helmet had come off, so I think that was him. So the Wheaton defense backed up at their own 10 already to start with the penalty added on. Augie with great field position. Now, Augie has been a pretty balanced offense last year. This year, they've been more 65% run. So they're really trying to establish the running game. When they pass it, they like to throw little wide receiver screens and stuff. So let's see what they do here.
It's Cole Barwash who's in the game, and he's looking to throw. Barwash has time. He fires, and the pass is going to be incomplete.
He was trying to get in Sarah on a little seam route in there, and Sarah, I think, was lined up on the slot and ran what's called a sail route. He starts towards the corner and then breaks right back towards the middle of the field, and he's trying to get it in there, trying to pop one in quick. Cole Bardwaj is a great quarterback for Augie. He's also a multiple-year starter here and has had a great season. They haven't had to use those guys much because their running game has been really effective. They're averaging 200 yards a game on the ground the first 2 games.
Ty Ravelli in the backfield for the Vikings. 2nd down after that incompletion, and there goes Ravelli inside the 10, inside the 5, and they'll mark him at about the 4-yard line.
That's what they're going to want to do. They definitely want to do here. They block down and they kick out and they lead the tight end up. That's a counter play, and the linebackers have to step up, and the defensive linemen have to try not to get displaced, but that linebacker needs to step up in that hole, and the misdirection got him fooled there.
3rd down and 3 now.
Big 3rd down play here.
Let's see what Barwash wants to do on offense. With Jake Miller in motion. Here he is looking to throw. Barwash feels the pressure now. Fires pass, though, in and out. Nate Henry, the intended receiver, as it was out the outstretched arms.
3rd down, C.J. Nightingale decides to bring pressure, and he brings Hagler off the edge, who beats the running back, gets a little bit of pressure, and Bardwaj couldn't quite put that where he wanted to, and a little bit outside. He had a wide open receiver, little overthrown there, and the Vikings are going to have to settle for a field goal.
We also saw Caleb McClung, the junior, providing some pressure, the one that hit Bardwaj. Meanwhile, the Sidney Maroon to attempt a 20-yard field goal.
He's 1 for 1 this year, just one attempt. Last year, 7 for 10.
And the kick right through the up post, and it is good. So the Vikings able to score, not really take advantage of that great field position as the Thunder defense holds them to a field goal.
Yeah, nice job to hold down there with the 1st and goal at the 10, and they're able to hold to them just a field goal. That is your goal as a defense when you get a sudden change like that. If you can limit it, especially deep in your own territory, if you can always keep it to a field goal attempt, that's a great job by the defense. And so nice job by C.J. Nightingale's group. See what the Thunder can do on offense coming back out here for their second try. Got a great return on the opening kick, which led to the opening touchdown, missed extra point, and you have a 6-3 game. See what the Thunder can get done here on their second possession.
And entering this matchup, the Thunder have won the last 15 contests against the Vikings. And they lead the all-time series 35-29-2. Vikings trying to snap that skid against the Thunder. By the way, Bardwaj did not play the last time these two teams played. Instead, it was Liam Crawley and Thomas Hall who took the snaps in that 10-point loss at Rock Island. Sidney Maroon to kick it off deep. You have Jack Allen, Seth Kortenhoven as the return man. And it will go in Jack Allen's direction, and he will take it from inside his own 5. Allen still on his feet, and this time the Augie special team steps up, drags him down at the 20-yard line.
That's more what you expect out of a coverage unit. Great kick into the corner, and he could have let that go. And one wrong bounce, it goes out of bounds. You get it to 35. Also could go into the end zone, at which point you get it out at the 25. So either one of those would have been a little bit better result than what they ended up with. Right now they get the ball at just over the 20-yard line to see what the Thunder come up with. There is a
flag on the play at the 31-yard line of Wheaton as the referees are discussing.
Well, they're talking to the Augie coach, so I don't know if that's because he's complaining or they're asking him what he wants to do.
After the play, we have offsetting penalties. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 84, White. Sorry, correction, number 21, White. 21, White. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 84, Blue. Penalties offset, first down.
That's 2 unsportsmanlike or personal fouls against the Thunder. That is something you just can't tolerate as a coach. You got to make sure your team is smarter than that. They don't put you in a bad position. It was offsetting, but it could have easily have been one way, which backs you up half the distance.
So Ben Thorson, the offense back out for Wheaton after a 7-play drive that went 26 yards. Now on for their second offensive drive. Here's Thorson looking to throw. Flag on the play. It's caught by Jack Allen, but he's going to be immediately tripped up by Johnny Breeden.
I think it's going to be offsides against Augie, and Thunder made a little bit more than what the offsides penalty would be, so they may decline this. They end up with 7 yards versus the 5 they get from the penalty. Now, they would also be 1st and 5 if they take the penalty, so they keep the down. So Jesse might choose to take this.
Offsides in the neutral zone. Number 94, defense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Yeah.
Penalty goes against Hugh Kinney, the junior out of Chicago, Illinois. Went to Notre Dame College Prep.
Kortenhoven comes in the game at wide receiver. He's been a great bright spot early for this Thunder team. Through the first 2 games, Kortenhoven has done a great job. He has 9 catches for 111 yards, second on the team to Bonga's 14 catches.
And caught his first touchdown last week against IWU. They handed off inside Weeks. Just a stonewall of Augie defenders there to meet him, though.
Yeah, they're really focused on Geo Weeks right here. They're trying to come downhill. And these linebackers you'll also see are very aggressive. Swaney and number 44, Rondé Worrells, he comes downhill as well. They like to run through the A gaps or the B gaps, the guard center, the tackle guard gaps, and try to get you in the backfield. So you got to really have your eyes up if you're the offensive line and these combo blocks that they're trying to do, but they're being aggressive at the line of scrimmage.
2nd down and 4 after a 1-yard gain. Trips to the bottom of your screen. Thorson going to set up a screen. Bonga already his third catch. Ben Bonga yards after the grab will pick up a first down all the way to the 37-yard line.
Nice job. And I know this is something structurally that they like against this defense. Augie likes to play a little bit. They don't, you're outmanned down there. You got 3 guys against 2 defenders. The third defender's coming from the hash, so they like to get the ball out quick, make that third defender come tackle you, block the 2 guys that are there, and that time it ends up in a first down.
So now first down and from the 38-yard line, and they'll give it to Giovanni Weeks running left, lowering the shoulder as Weeks dragged down to the 45-yard line by Johnny Breeden once again.
Yeah, Breeden, 3-year starter back there and doing a nice job. That's probably his 4th tackle of the game. And the Thunder will take that. If the DBs are the guys tackling your running backs, you're getting 8 yards on first down. That's what you want. You want to try to, eventually you'll hopefully try to break some of those tackles. Couple subs coming in for Augie. They're trying to keep that defensive line fresh.
6 carries, 20 yards for Giovanni Weeks so far in this ball game. And they'll stay on the ground game with Weeks. And he'll be dragged down. Not as much gain, maybe 1.
That's Tim Swaney stepping right up in that B gap. It looked like they tried to wash everybody over. And if Gio could have just put his foot in the ground and cut back to his left, there was a little bit of room back there. But he saw a little daylight on the front side, but Tim Swaney quickly closed it. Gain of 1, big 3rd and short.
Tim Swaney named to the CCIW Defensive Player of the Week after his tremendous performance. Took a fumble return for a touchdown in that Elmer's blowout win. So it's now 3rd and 1 from the 47-yard line as Thorson now lines up under center, and the give is not going to get it. It was, I believe, Ben Juska who took the jet sweep, but he's going to be short of the first down.
Yeah, they tried to do a little bit of a trick play. They run Thorson up underneath as if you're going to do a quarterback sneak. They're trying to get the linebackers to suck up as if it's going to be a quarterback sneak, and then they do a handoff, quick sweep to Juska, but they didn't block Romano, who's a defensive end, and you can't run that into an unblocked player. You end up with a loss of 1, you got a punt. So poor execution for the Thunder on their second drive. They're going to give the ball back to Augie.
So it'll be Mateo Jesh will be sending it away for the Thunder. A nice end-over-end punt, and it will go out of bounds inside the 20. We'll see if the refs want to spot it. It was Bobby and Sarah back deep to receive, opted not to play with it. It looks like they're in a market.
About a 42-yard punt, something like that. About the 21 or 22.
Yep. That's where the Vikings will start their second drive, bringing Cole Barwash back in on offense.
All right, so this is Augie's first drive on a full field. They had their first one after a long kickoff return down at the 10. See what the Thunder can do and what Augie can do. Augie's going to try to establish the run here, I believe.
First down and 10 from the 22-yard line with Barwash operating out of the shotgun. And they will hand it off inside, looking for some space, and still going. It's Tyler Ravelli off to the races into Wheaton territory. Inside the 30, the 25, the 20, cuts it back. Riveri still going all the way down to the 5-yard line. What a run there by Tyler Ravelli, the senior.
And again, yet unblocked player as he cuts back behind. They wash everything down. He cuts it right back. There you have Max Wilson right there at the line of scrimmage. He cuts up underneath him, and he's gone. So you lose your pursuit. And I didn't see the front side, so I don't know where the linebackers were, but big play by them. Ravelli's been a huge bright spot for them, carrying a bulk of the load so far this year.
So now first down and goal from the 6. Opportunistic are the Vikings. They again hand it off to Ravelli. And
down to the 1.
Yep, they're going to mark him at the 1 yard.
Same running play, just the other way. Again, they're trying to tie up the whole front and make the DB come up. You'll see Hagler, who's the outside linebacker, come up and have to make that play. He's got to be tighter against this physical Augie front.
Second down and goal, handed off again. That is going to be...
He's in.
What are they going to signal? They will signal touchdown. So back-to-back drive where the Vikings are able to come away with some points. That big run by Tyler Ravelli. And now the Vikings have the lead.
Again, you're talking about a veteran offensive line for this Augie front. Kane Johnson is an all-conference player. Bray McDonald at guard. Jacob Ullman at center. Daniel Skold is the left guard, and Jacob North is the left tackle. Those guys have all multiple games starting. You've got 3 super seniors. The 2 guards in the center are super seniors. Kane Johnson is also a senior. and Jacob North is a returning starter as a junior. A big offensive line too. Everybody's over 6'2", between 6'2" and 6'4". And right now they've been handling this Wheaton front and running the ball. They haven't had to throw it, which has been their motif the first 2 weeks against Simpson. They ran the ball pretty effectively, and then against Elmhurst also they're averaging 200 yards a game, and they're already off to a great start here.
City Maroons' extra point, by the way, is good, as Ravelli had a big 72-yard run and was able to plow it in as a reward to get his 4th rushing touchdown of the season. So a great start for the Vikings. As we said, only a 10-point loss the last time these two teams played, and a very veteran team that the Vikings are feeling out. And that definitely does make up for their lack of talent compared to the Wheaton team.
So Thunder going to have to respond. They've done a good job this season and really the last couple seasons responding to opponents' scores, especially at home. And let's see if they can do it here. It's going to be super important for them to be able to do it. Trying to establish the run. Augie has stacked it up on the run. And let's see if the Thunder can get something going in response to this big Augie drive to take the lead.
City Maroon to kick it off for the Vikings. They hope their defense can get another stop, just like the last time. And it's going to be Jack Allen once again receiving his 3rd kickoff, as Allen going to be dragged down around the 20, maybe the 21.
So this Thunder offense going to try to get on track here. Again, they're averaging, the Thunder have averaged 38 points a game through the first two games and 509 yards offense. Pretty balanced between run and pass.
So 1st down and 10 from the 21-yard line, as it's Christian Karstens who's in the backfield. Jessica to motion. They'll hand it off. It is Karstens. Oh, immediately met right there. I believe it was
Tim
Ryan
Swaney.
Yep, Tim Swaney.
Yeah, Swaney just comes right downhill. Comes right underneath the block there and puts his shoulder pad along with Worrells. The two of them, no gain.
No gain on that play. 2nd down and 10 now for the Thunder. Here's Thorson on the run pass option. Looks to the outside. That pass is going to be caught. And it is Ben Bonga. And seems like the Thunder really like running those RPOs, getting a free 5 yards.
I don't know what the mark was. The official marked it 2.5 yards behind where he actually went out of bounds.
So they mark it at the 26-yard line, 3rd and 5.
Yeah, they marked it at the 24. He was about the 26.5 when he went out of bounds.
So now from the 21-yard line, it is 3rd down and 7 instead of a 5-yard gain. And now here is Thorson. Pressure, Thorson. He's going to go down. The Augie defense stepping up, making the play. Chase Tatum, one of the many Vikings there to swarm Thorson.
Huge play. They just run a tackle twist. The two defensive tackles up front, Aaron Lopez and Hugh Keeney, just confused the center guard. They got to switch that off. This is a veteran group. These are guys that have played together. That was a simple twist that they just missed, and they had an unblocked player get in on Ben Thorson for the sack. So, again, that's a mental error that you just can't have.
So forces a 3 and out. Mateo Jesh to send it away. Bobby and Sarah calling for the fair catch. Going to bring up great field position at the 45-yard line.
A little bit of a gut check for the Thunder here early in this game. You got a team that's hungry. Steve Bell, who is the head coach for Augie in his 9th year, 23rd year as a head coach. Very successful at Monmouth prior to being here, where he was 112-44, had 4 conference titles and went to the NCAA playoffs. Has struggled a little bit, but this is his best Augie team, according to him and some of his preseason comments. He likes this group. There's great chemistry. Again, 20 returning starters on this team, and they're playing well early.
And Coach Bell talked about the vibe. It's been the best vibe that I've ever had in my career. The pass to the outside is going to be incomplete. It goes in and out of the hands of Tyler Ravelli.
Again, Ravelli's going to be a big part of their offense. They threw the ball to him there. He has 176 rush yards through the first 2 games with 3 touchdowns, 9.8 yards per carry, and he's added to that here so far.
So far, Barwash 0-3, still for his first completion of the game. Brings up second down and 10 from the 45-yard line. And this time they'll feed it inside. It is Ravelli. Ty Ravelli. It's brought down to the 40-yard line of Wheaton.
A little slow to get up there. Hagler with a great arm tackle. He just reaches across and grabs him and pulls him down. And Ravelli a little slow to get up.
He was able to walk on his own power. Athletic training staff did not need to help him out, so that's some good signs if you're an Augie fan. Third down and 6, meanwhile, from the 41-yard line.
Mike DeGioia takes his place in the backfield, who also good running back. 62 total yards first 2 games, 4.8 yards per carry.
Also has 26 yards receiving. Vikings must get to the 35 to pick up a first down and keep this drive moving.
It's 4-down territory, I would think, given where the ball is.
Here's Barwash on a 5-man rush. Fires down the sideline. The pass is going to be incomplete. It was in the area of Bobby and Sarah. And we'll see, Doug, if the Vikings want to go for it.
Well, they're going to punt. It's surprising. But Steve Bell doing the conservative route. He's going to play the field position game here.
And the last thing that you want if you're a Vikings fan is to go for it, not get it, and then all of a sudden you give the Thunder momentum, trailing by 4 at home.
Jordan Clem is the punter in here. He's a junior out of Columbus, Ohio.
It'll be Seth Kortenhoven back deep to receive for Wheaton. As Kortenhoven calling for the fair catch inside the 10 will be marked at about the 5-yard line. And now we'll see the Wheaton offense after 2 drives where they could not come up with any points, including a 3-and-out. We'll see if they can make amends and get back on the right track.
Yeah, a couple execution and mental errors limiting the Thunder offense so far. After taking the opening kickoff all the way down into the red zone and the Thunder getting a score out of it with a missed extra point. Augie has 2 scores on their first 3 possessions and has a 10-6 lead here with just under 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Thunder backed up at their own 5. See what they can do.
So first down and 10, as you said, from inside nearly their own goal line is Ben Thorson with Giovanni Weeks in the backfield. And here's Thorson looking to throw a pass over the middle. Is going to be incomplete. It was intended for Bonga, but immediately drilled right there.
Yeah, Aaron Lopez, I think, was the player who's a defensive lineman. I think they were doing a zone blitz of some kind. He drops back, and that's a big fella, 255 pounds, coming down on your best wide receiver. Not something you want to see very often. But again, Thunder trying to do an easy pitch and catch against this defense, and they haven't found anything to be very easy so far.
Second down and 10 after that incompletion. Here's Thorson. He's going to keep it himself. Ben Thorson looking for some running room, and he's going to be brought down at about the 14-yard line.
Little Tom Brady-esque there.
Not known for his mobility. I mean, Will Bowers, he was well known for his mobility, but Thorson getting it done right there.
Some good blocking out there, just lumbering along, but brings up a third, should be a 3rd and short. There is a flag down on the field on the far side at about the 14, so the officials are conferring on what this might be.
Not the first time we have seen some yellow laundry on the field.
Could have been a formation issue. I mean, that side judge is usually looking at somebody who's lined up offsides or a formation problem or early motion, illegal motion or something like that. Defensively, not sure. I mean, it could be a neutral zone infraction, but they would have called that pretty early. So not sure what we're going to get here, but it's obviously going to be a big play regardless. They have not moved the sticks. So
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness, number 19 defense.
Okay.
15-yard penalty, first down.
It's going to be against Nick Harper, the 5th-year senior named to the second-team All-CCIW last season, and we'll see if that gives momentum to the Thunder, partner.
Well, certainly a big mistake on their part because they dug him out of a 3rd down hole in their own, backed up in their own territory and give him new life. So Steve Bell's not going to be happy with that, especially out of one of your better players. You know, you have a graduate student, a 5th-year super senior, and Nick Harper, who's a 3-year starter and an all-conference player, making that mistake. That's not something that you like to see, but the Thunder have new life with a first down.
So now it's from the 29-yard line. Kortenhoven in motion. Here's Thorson looking to throw. He's going to dial the deep ball downfield. Titherington pass incomplete. No flags, though.
Yeah, they're not going to call that. Their feet just got tangled, and there was no intention there on either side. It just their feet got tangled up between the two. That's a good no call by the officials, but unfortunate because Titherington had him beat, and he might have been able to run under that.
You saw the press box. We were watching above the press box, and they were like, that's a flag. Throw the flag, please. But instead, incomplete, second down and 10 now. Giovanni Weeks in the backfield. Ben Juska to the bottom of your screen. Play clock running down under 5 now. Let's see if Thorson gets it off, and he does. Looking to throw once again. Thorson pass caught. It's going to be Ben Bonga. Those two have such great chemistry as he takes it down to the 46.
Yeah, a lot of attention to Gio Weeks. He comes out of the backfield and widens the defense. You see the linebacker widen with him, which opens up that curl route, and that inside backer just can't get there in time. It's going to be open all day because the threat Gio is, because he can go down that rail, down the boundary pretty quickly.
Darren Organ of Augie made the tackle. Now at the 46-yard line, third consecutive throw, and the pass is going to be caught far side. And it is Seth Kortenhoven who might have gotten it into Vikings territory.
Bobbled it for just a second. They're going to mark it right on the 50, but he did get 4 yards there, which is a nice little gain. Bobbled a little bit, which is dangerous. You got to make sure you secure that ball. Neither one of these teams has turned the ball over through 2 games so far. So we have 2 teams that have been error-free in terms of giveaways. Both teams have taken it away. I know Augie has 7 takeaways on the season through 2 games.
First quarter winding down to almost a closure. Gain of 4 on that last play. And this time, Thorson looking to throw into the flats. That pass is caught. It's going to be Jack Allen who has the grab. A nice gain of about 3 yards for Allen.
Yeah, they gave him 2, so you're going to have 3rd and 4 here.
It is now 3rd down and 4. Thunder trying to keep this drive alive.
Jack Harrington in the game at wide receiver on the top side. 5 wide receivers look.
And now here's Thorson looking left. Pass is going to be caught. It's Kortenhoven. He's got space. Still going. Seth Kortenhoven inside the red zone and finally brought down at the 17-yard line. Exactly the conversion that the Thunder needed.
Yeah, a lot of people, the league doesn't know about Seth Kortenhoven, but what the coaches will tell you is he's a great yards after the catch guy. They like getting him these little shots right here because he just knows where to go with the ball. And you can see right there, he had 3 guys around him, and he just knew the angle, split it, and then took off. That's also why he's a kick returner for the Thunder, because does a great job running with the ball in his hands.
Kortenhoven originally committed to Coastal Carolina before coming back after a year. Here's Thorson once again looking to throw into the flats. That pass is going to be caught. It's Ben Juska immediately dragged down, and one of those defenders, as you were saying, Tim Sweeney making the play.
Yeah, about a 2-yard gain, a check down. They had Weeks going down the seam. He was picked up, and they had Bonga also going down the rail. Both the deeper receivers were picked up, so the check down was taken. Again, Ben Thorson does a good job managing the game because he doesn't take something that's not there. He took what they gave him on that play.
Sometimes taking what the defense gives you can be a recipe for success. A toss to the outside is going to be Giovanni Weeks, low on the shoulder and finally out of bounds.
That's Darren Oregon, who's the defensive back there, come up and made a half-hearted tackle, but he did get him out of bounds there. Brings up 3rd and about 3. A big play here. You got 43 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Thunder really want to convert here and try to get this into the end zone. They don't want to have to settle for a field goal. It's a big difference in games like this when you can get touchdowns instead of field goals.
3rd down and 3 now for the Thunder. They're 7 of 7 in the red zone. Only 3 field goal attempts, by the way, on the season for the Thunder. All of them being touchdowns. And meanwhile, here's Giovanni Weeks. He should have the first down, but there is a flag.
That's going to be a hold, most likely. That's going to send it back. We'll see what happens. But again, the Thunder have done a great job. One of their best tools defensively has been a great offense. They're really dominating in time of possession. 9th in the country in time of possession. 1st in the conference at 36 minutes a game. And what's that resulted in? That their first 2 opponents have run only 53 plays on offense in Oshkosh and Illinois Wesleyan.
Illegal hands to the face, number 6 on the defense.
That's a conversion.
Half the distance to the goal from the end of the
Automatic first down. So big play there. Hands to the face. The other thing that gets called by that umpire. But this time of possession, again, 53 plays. A normal offense runs 65 to 70 plays. And the Thunder have the first two opponents have only run 53 plays because they've held the ball so long. They've had these long drives. This is another example of it right here. They've had the ball for, the last 6 minutes of this quarter here. Now they got first and goal inside the one. It looks like they're going to wait for the quarter to end.
By the way, it was David Vaderman who was called for the penalty, the senior out of Galesburg, Illinois, and the Thunder will run out the clock. They'll go to the other end, as that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. The Vikings coming into McCauley Stadium. They hold a 10-6 lead, but the Thunder knocking on the door, trying to strike back with a touchdown and retake the lead.
So a big drive by the Thunder, something that they've really needed after stalling a little bit here in the first quarter.
Meanwhile, let's go around the CCIW. All the rest of the games have already finished. Carroll 70-23 against Illinois Wesleyan. North Park crushed Milliken 28-0. WashU defeated Carthage 38-7, and the number 1 ranked team in the nation, North Central, defeated Elmhurst 59-6.
So if you're thinking about what has Augie done this season, they beat Simpson in their first game, which was a nice win for them. They beat them 49-27. What has Simpson done? Well, Simpson lost today to Wartburg, who's ranked in the top 5. I think they're ranked 4th in the country. They lost today to Wartburg by a score of 63-0. And then Elmhurst, who they beat handily, also played number 1 North Central today, and we just heard that score 59-6. So, one of the questions is Augie's strength of schedule been as tough as the Thunder's? It hasn't, but it hasn't mattered here so far. They have a 10-6 lead going into the second quarter. The Thunder knocking on the door to be able to come back. Just looking quickly at the first quarter stats, the Thunder running 25 plays for 117 yards of total offense. Augie 9 plays for 89 yards. Big part of that coming through a 72-yard run. Outside of that, they only have 17 yards of offense.
Start of the second quarter of the Thunder operating at the Vikings 3-yard line. Thorson looking to throw a pass. It's going to be low and incomplete. It was Caleb Titherington, the intended receiver.
Kind of a double slant. 3 wideouts out there. The outside, the inside and the outside most receivers both run slants. The inside guy runs a corner route, and they're trying to get it behind that inside vertical route on the slant, but a great job on the coverage by the corner, Oregon.
Second down and 3 after that incompletion. Another second down and goal, to be more specific. Jessica in motion. They toss it to Giovanni Weeks looking for some space.
Wow.
He is in for the touchdown.
He just lowered his head right there and just ran over Nick Harper and said, you're not going to keep me from scoring, and gets himself in the end zone. Gio's been explosive, and we know how fast he is. He's one of the fastest guys in the conference, but he's physical. And right there you see that run. He gets the ball. That's a play that worked last week several times against down in Bloomington against Illinois Wesleyan. They've run it again here now twice. And that time they get the big fella. They block down with the tight end. They get the big tackle, out on space. Kingsbury out on space, and then Weeks just follows them into the end zone.
Second rushing touchdown for Giovanni Weeks. That now puts him at 49 total touchdowns. As the extra point, it is good. So the Thunder have a 13-10 lead. After that nice drive capped off by Giovanni Weeks' 3-yard touchdown run.
Great job. Kingsbury gets on Swaney, the linebacker, who's the guy who could stop you, and leaves the matchup for Weeks against Harper, and he wins that battle as he gets into the end zone. Nice job by the Thunder. Retaking the lead, making the extra point, 13-10. Start of the second quarter. So first quarter numbers, the Thunder, Thorson starts off 9 for 11. They have Skylar Piercy in here, but he hasn't thrown any passes. It's 9 for 11 for 80 yards. Was sacked once. In the running game, 14 rushes for 37 yards. Giovanni Weeks has 9 carries for 30 yards and a touchdown. Long of 8 yards for the Vikings. 89 total yards. Tyler Ravelli, 5 rushes for 89 yards already. 72 in the 1 carry, the 1 long run that led to their score. Cole Bardwaj is 0 for 4 in the passing game so far.
And by the way, Giovanni Weeks' 2 rushing touchdowns. That now puts him 3, and he only needs 3 more rushing touchdowns to tie Chuck Schoner's record for the most total rushing touchdowns. Moving on a flag as that kick was just kicked out of bounds. So it's pre-snap
Kick
penalties.
out of bounds. Ball we place at the 35-yard line. First down.
And Doug, those are those self-inflicted wounds that the Thunder have made. Special teams not necessarily the brightest so far, besides that Jack Allen big run
Yeah, that's Josh Winnett, the fifth-year senior doing the kickoff duties. And, he's trying to pin him in between the numbers and the sideline and got a little aggressive with it. And if the returners let it go, you can get a bad bounce. Same thing happened to the Thunder. We caught it over there. Jack Allen caught it. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to place it over there and pin him in the corner to allow your coverage to pin him, and it just didn't work.
Now the Vikings are on. The pass to the outside is caught by VC. As VC brought down about the 43-yard line after a gain of about 7.
VC, one of their leading receivers, he comes into this game with 8 receptions for 90 yards and a touchdown through the first 2 games. Last year he had 21 catches for 311 yards.
Vikings fans will remember he had that 36-yard Hail Mary at the end of the first half against Simpson, which extended that lead off the pass from Bardwash. So it's now 2nd down and 2. They will officially call it a gain of 8. Ben Ludlam, by the way, comes back into the backfield. Thunder showing pressure. And Bardwash throwing to the outside, far side, and that pass is going to be caught. Back-to-back completions. That's Jake Miller who moves the chains.
For both of these teams on the outside to the far end of the field, you're going to get that little hitch or out route because they both play off corners out there. In that case, Riley Schwartz the Thunder can throw that same pass. Both sides do it, which is common at Division III because you don't get many quarterbacks that can make a throw from the far hash to outside the numbers to the field. It's a tough throw, and usually you can break on that. But in that case, playing a little too far off and gave him the first down.
So early here in the second quarter, here's Bardwash down the sideline on the back shoulder. And
didn't catch it.
Nope, they'll roll it incomplete. VC, the intended receiver.
He had him, just wasn't able to pull it in. Maybe just a little bit too far outside of him.
So it's now 2nd down and 10 from the Thunder 43-yard line after that incompletion. A drive that started from their own 35-yard line. So Jake Miller in motion, lines back into the formation. RPO, they'll hand it off and being dragged down immediately. One of the players there
Johannick.
is Peter Johannick, as you said.
We talked about at the top of the game of the broadcast. He comes underneath the block there, comes down the line of scrimmage. Very athletic defensive end, one of their better players, even though he's a young guy, just a sophomore out of Wheaton Academy. His dad's a head coach at Wheaton Academy, played offensive line here at Thunder, Jim Johannick. And his brother was a starting center last year. Johannick was a starting center on the offensive line last year who graduated. But Peter's been a great player this year, and they like him a lot. He flip-flops kind of back and forth. But there he came underneath, and very active player, difficult to block in the run game.
3rd down and 9 now, and it looks like a timeout.
Timeout.
Big play here. Steve Bell knows it's a big play.
Of the first half.
They're in Wheaton territory. They want to talk about it, and part of what you want to talk about if you're a coach here is, hey, we're at the place where you'd still punt right here, and so do we try to run the ball and see if we can get 6 yards and go for it on 4th down? Because if we get it around the 36 or so, which would bring up a 4th and 2 or 3, then you might go for it. And you're trying to figure out with your coaches what play call you want to make. You're going to try to get the first down here. Of course you're going to try to, but you might be saying, hey, you got 2 calls here. If this could be 4-down territory. If they throw it and it's incomplete, it's probably a place you'd punt because it's around midfield. You don't really want to mess around with that. But you could, if you have a short kind of running game type throw, either one of those wide receiver screens or the ones you block them up, or a running play that you like, you might run that here if you think it's 4-down territory.
So we'll see what the Vikings want to do on 3rd down. By the way, not really good 3rd down numbers for the Vikings this season. Only 7 of 21.
Yeah, 33%.
And that's despite that shellacking of Elmer's last week. They did struggle on 3rd downs. They were 4 of 10. Here is Bardwash looking to throw downfield. Pass, though, is going to be incomplete as he overthrew Vesey, and great coverage by that Thunder secondary.
Yeah, Bardwash just hasn't been very accurate to the down the field throws. He's been very good so far, kind of the short outside throws, but these down the field outside throws, he's been pretty inaccurate. I wonder if there's something going on with him. I watched him in the pregame. He wasn't doing a lot of warming up, so maybe he's nursing something, or I don't know. But this is a quarterback who, typically completes more passes than this. He's completed 62.5% of his passes this year coming into this game, and he's not nearly that right now for tonight.
And about the completion percentage, only 2 of 8, 22 yards, and those 2 completions were pretty much checkdowns. Meanwhile, the fair catch will be tapped down at around the 20-yard line. That's where the Thunder will start their next drive on offense.
Yeah, not quite as good of a punt as they would have liked. They would have, from that situation, you're trying to pin them inside the 10 at least. And it looks like the Thunder are going to get the ball to 23 with another chance here to go down. And this is where the Thunder have a chance to try to take control. Again, Augie's come out with a game plan to stack the line of scrimmage, try to take away Weeks in the run game. Right now you have Karstens back there, but they're going to try to take away the run game, playing a lot of man coverage out there, which is something you want to try to take advantage of if you can. Right now you got Kortenhoven down here on the wide side.
There's only a punt of 19 yards, and they will feed it. Karstens on the carry. He's going to be dragged down. Once again, Tim Sweeney getting his head and making the tackle.
Yeah, it's him coming downhill. He's on the backside. You just see him run right through the center spot, and that tough to get to, and he's a backside linebacker right there. He's going to come downhill at the first window he can and try to get you in the backfield, and there he caught him for about a 2-yard gain.
So it's now 2nd down and 8 from the 25-yard line for Wheaton. Seth Kortenhoven to the bottom of your screen, by the way. And here's Thorson on the run pass option. Fires pass is going to be incomplete out of the outstretched arms of Bonga. And that's typically a pass that Thorson can complete.
Yeah, he had him. He knew he had him, and that was going to be a first down, easy first down. That's a throw that's going to be open a lot, with Augie trying to stop this run game. Again, they're committed to stopping it, in part because the Thunder went down to Rock Island and ran for 327 yards last year. Now, they didn't have Tim Sweeney on this defense, and that's a big difference. And so, they're committed to trying to limit this run game, which is going to open up passes like that.
3rd down and 8 now for the Wheaton Thunder. Currently 4 of 6 on 3rd down so far. They bring pressure. Thorson off his back foot, just lobs it upstairs. The pass is going to be incomplete for Jack Allen, who was the closest there.
They brought one more than you could block. Augie does not pressure a lot, but that time they did. They brought 3 extra guys. They're bringing basically the house with cover 0, which means man-to-man across the board. Didn't quite recognize it, couldn't pick it up. Got to try to get the ball in a place where somebody can make a play on it. Couldn't quite get enough on it because you got an unblocked player in your face, forces a punt. Nice job by the Augie D.
Yeah, you saw Chase Tatum on the replay just going after the quarterback, applying some pressure and forcing an inaccurate throw. Here now comes the punt from Mateo Jesh back deep to receive. It's going to be Bobby and Sarah. And Sarah still on his feet now, cuts it back to the outside, trying to find some space. There's a flag on the play as Sarah is going to be brought down at about the 46-yard line. As you saw Isaac Parrish.
It's going to be a block in the back. It's going to push them back.
Isaac Parrish, I believe, was the one who made the tackle for the Thunder. And as you said, penalty, likely blocking them back, should push the Vikings back a little bit.
And Sarah's tough. He had a punt return touchdown against Elmhurst for last week, and so he's a dangerous punt returner. And they had a nice wall set up, but Thunder have a lot more speed on special teams.
Number 24 in the return team, 10 yards from the end of the run, 1st down.
Yeah, and Sarah only had 1 catch in that win against Elmhurst, but his only score came from special teams, as you mentioned, that punt return for a touchdown. So he was able to get on the scoring column that way.
Nice job chasing him down there by Chase Smith.
Yep.
One of the DBs that plays significantly for the Thunder, but also on special teams.
So now the Augie offense back out there with Code Barwash trailing only by 3. It is Ravelli in the game, and they will give it to Tyler Ravelli. And he's going to be dragged down about the 37-yard line, I believe.
And you saw a little blitz off the 1st down blitz there, which allows the linebacker to come downhill, who does a nice job. Johnny Eller comes downhill and gets up in there to turn him into the defensive tackles who clean it up.
Ravelli, 6 carries, 90 yards. Of course, that big 75-yard touchdown run, 75-yard run that got him inside the goal line. So it's now 2nd down and 9 for Barwash in the offense. Bring from the 38-yard line. Here's Barwash looking to throw. He fires, and the pass is going to be caught.
He bobbled it. They're going to call it a catch. Nope. They are. He did bobble it, but then he did, while he was able to get it before it touched the ground. So Sarah that throw was a little bit low. He had to dive to get it. You'd like to be, he was pretty wide open. You'd like to be able to get to him on his feet. Yeah, he bobbled it, but he was able to pull it in before it hits the ground.
It's the first catch for the second team all CCIW from last season. Finally able to get a hookup, and the third completion for Barwash, now operating at midfield.
Big receiver down here at the bottom. Nate Henry is a 6'1 junior, big play guy they like to go to down the field.
Pass to the outside. It's going to be caught in
Nice
Sarah.
job.
And a nice tackle is made. I believe that was Riley Schwartz, who was engaged with another defender.
Riley did a great job there. And he's a 6-foot senior, 180 pounds, physical right there. They put the bigger receiver out there who's actually listed as the backup tight end. Nate Henry is a 6'1", 224 pounds. And Riley Schwartz looked like the bigger guy there as he fights off the blocker and makes the tackle.
And you can argue that the Thunder have one of the best two cornerback tandems in Riley Schwartz and Max Wilson, sort of like what the Cowboys have with Stephon Gilmore and Trayvon Diggs. Obviously, unfortunate that Diggs tore his ACL. Hope that the Cowboys defense can still produce a top 10 unit. Second down and 7 from the 47. Pressure comes and dragged down all the way back at the 43-yard line.
That's McClung coming through on a blitz, and the running back just fanned on him. Ravelli tried to duck his head and just missed him, and McClung just ran around him and didn't quite get him, and then Isaac Parrish cleans him up.
Yep, Isaac Parrish and McClung, the guys were able to bring him down. Third down and now 16.
Now you bring in your nickel package. You bring in the extra line, the extra DB. They like Lawson Hagler in here because he's really a versatile defensive player. He plays linebacker, but he can also cover the slot receiver up to the top.
And deep backfield for Barwash. They must get to the 40-yard line of Wheaton to pick up the first down. Green pressure flag on the play. The pass is going to be caught and still going.
They're going to call rough on the passer here.
And now another flag, as you said, in the backfield. There was one before the snap and then one right near where Barwash was taken down.
Yeah, they hit Barwash after he threw it, and the ref is, you just can't do that. I don't know what the other flag was, but best case, they're offsetting and they'll replay the down. Worst case, they're both on Wheaton, and they'll get the first down here, which would be very unfortunate on 3rd and long. This is a situation you really want to get off the field on.
Especially after Caleb McClung and Isaac Parrish came in on that sack on 2nd down. The referee still discussing the penalty.
Yeah, no indication yet what's going to happen here, but 3rd down, they like to bring pressure. He does. CJ Nightingale likes to bring pressure on 3rd down, and even in these long yardage situations. And this is the downside of that. You can get these kind of penalties, but we'll see what they're.
2 penalties on the defense.
Yeah.
Offsides, number 48. That penalty is declined. Roughing the pass or personal foul, number 54. Defense, 15-yard penalty. First down.
So they offset the penalty on Isaac Parrish, and then they called against Peter Johannek. He was the one that was called for roughing the passer, and it'll move the chains.
Yeah, really unfortunate. The offsides would have just given him 4 yards and replayed 5 yards and replayed 3rd down. So the big one was the roughing the passer, and you just can't hit the quarterback up around the head and shoulders, which is, I don't think he was necessarily late, but you can't hit him that high. They're going to call that every time.
So now operating at the Thunder 35, huge penalty there, and the handoff goes. I believe it is Mike DeGioia who took the carry. It is.
I don't know that we've seen Ravelli back in here since he went out. Kind of limped off the field earlier in the last quarter.
And instead they spread it around with Ben Lumlin, the backup back, as well as DeGioia. It's now 2nd down and 5 after a positive gain of 5 yards, and it is still DeGioia in the backfield alongside Barwash. Now from the 30-yard line, again a feed inside, a whole big hole for Mike DeGioia all the way down inside the 20, probably at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, these are just assignment situations right here. They pull the same play that they ran a couple of times. They're blitzing and they get you to wash down, and when you blitz players, gaps end up being open.
Wheaton.
And guys have to be in their gap responsibility. And what's happening is, you get a guy who's crashing into that gap from the outside on the blitz, and they're counting him on being there, but then the pulling lineman scoops him, and there's a big hole there because he's the guy they're counting on to come. So he's got to come across the face of that kick-out block, to make sure that ball carrier can't come downhill. That ball carrier has got to spill to the outside where the defense can pursue. So that's what's happening with the integrity of the defense. Is you can't let players run straight downhill between the tackles. If guys run downhill or not getting touched, somebody broke an assignment and didn't do what they're supposed to do, or they just got absolutely whipped. Which in this case, you had a blitzer who they're counting on to get that gap is coming from the outside in. He's got to get across the face of the guy blocking him to make sure that ball spills to the outside guys, and he didn't do it.
By the way, Timothy Financial Counsel is proud to support Wheaton College Athletics. Their offices in Wheaton and Chicago have financial planners who are very invested in the Wheaton community. Interested in learning more about how hourly financial planning can help you? Check out their website at timothyfinancial.com. Meanwhile, first down and 10 from the 19-yard line after back-to-back good runs by DeGioia, and they'll stay with DeGioia. Another big hole for Mike DeGioia, plowing all the way inside the 10. As Clay Campbell came in for the tackle, but not before allowing another first down.
Running behind Big Kane Johnson on the right side. He does a nice job, just really washed. Great block by him. He helps knock the defensive tackle, Ferlita, I think it was, down, and then he turns on the linebacker. So he blocked two guys there. All-conference player Kane Johnson really enabled it by blocking two guys coming downhill. So first and goal here for the Vikings.
And here is the handoff inside. DeGioia again, this time stood up by that Wheaton defense.
Johnny Eller getting there this time. This time the Thunder did a nice job just bottling it up. But again, these games, especially at this level, CCIW, one of the better leagues, there's going to be one up front. And you've got a veteran offensive line with 3 fifth-year seniors and multiple multi-year starters. All 5 guys are returning. These guys are good. They're running for 200 yards a game the first 2 games. There's a reason for that.
Anyway, Johnny Eller leading the Thunder in tackles with 13. Another handoff goes. And once again, the Thunder defense stepping up on play.
That was Ferlita there. This time he got the better of the offensive line. He's up at the defensive tackle. He's getting double teamed. Actually, he comes across the face of the right guard, Bray McDonald, and gets into the backfield, able to get his hands on the running back. And third down and goal here now.
So Christian Bonacristi helping out. As it's now third down and a crowd on their feet and making some noise, trying to get off the field and force a field goal attempt. And Sarah in motion, lines up in the slot. Out of the shotgun is Barwash, looking to throw. Barwash with time, fires back of the end zone, incomplete. It was intended for Jake Miller, and it'll bring up fourth down and likely the field goal unit.
They're going to bring out the field goal unit, try to tie this game with 6:22 left to go in the second quarter. Sidney Maroons, the kicker, he was 7 of 10 just a year ago with a 42-yard long. He's 2 of 2 on the season so far. Both of them not much longer than this one, which looks to be about 26 yards.
Yep, about 25, 26 yards. You add 17 to whoever the down is. That's how you calculate it. Play clock right away at 6. Good snap, good hole kick on the way. And it is good, and we are tied here under the lights here at McCauley Stadium, 13 apiece with 6:18 to go before the intermission.
Again, this is playing out so far as a similar to score-wise to what happened a year ago down in Rock Island. These two teams clashed, and Augie had a 14-7 lead in that game in the second quarter. The Thunder scored twice before half and ended up ahead 21-14 at the half in what ended up being a 10-point win for the Thunder, 38-28. Now in that game, Wheaton ran the ball for 327 yards, just dominated the line of scrimmage. And Augie on the flip side only ran it for about 31 yards, and the quarterbacks threw for 350-something yards. So a little bit of a script flipped here that Augie has done a good job on the ground running the ball today, so well over 100 yards for them. Running the ball, and they've been very effective driving all the way down. The Thunder are able to hold them to a field goal, though, keep them out of the end zone to keep this game tied. So Thunder defense has some work to do. It's a young defense against a veteran offensive line, and now you're going to see this Wheaton Thunder offense try to answer, who's also a veteran offensive line against a veteran defensive front and a linebacker who is probably going to be an all-conference linebacker, at least one of them, if not both of them. Great linebacking crew in Swaney and Worrells see what the Thunder can get going here for half.
And also, I think what's important to note is that Cole Barwash did not play the last time these two teams met up last year. And so it was the backup quarterbacks, Ben Crawley, who's taking the snaps. And about at the 20-yard line. And going to be brought out of bounds at about the 28-yard line. It was Kortenhoven who took the return. Not necessarily the best kickoff there. Should give the Thunder some good field position.
So the Thunder, again, they've dominated time of possession in their games this year, and so far today they've done a nice job as well. They have 6 minutes to go. They really want to drive down. Be great to get a methodical 6-minute drive, score before you go into halftime. Augie's going to get the ball coming out in the second half. What you don't want is to give the ball back at least once, if not twice, to Augie here, and then also give him the ball in the second half to give him extra chances.
Thunder went 3 and out on their last offensive series, trying to get something here now that the game is tied, and they will hand it off to Giovanni Weeks, who's brought down at about the 36-yard line as you have Chase Tatum getting in for the tackle.
Yeah, they haven't given much room here. Again, I don't understand the blocking scheme. You had Jessica coming inside and not really blocking Chase Tatum, so there's some confusion on the front or something, which is strange because Chase Tatum's a defensive end. He's always lining up at the end of the line of scrimmage, so you got to get your assignments right, and when you have an unblocked player, it's not going to let a guy like Gio get loose.
Second down and 6 after a 4-yard gain on the ground game. Thorson operating out of the shotgun. Ben Bonga to the bottom of your screen. Thorson fires, and he's got Bonga. Ben Bonga brought down to the 47-yard line.
Same play they ran in the first quarter. Again, you got Weeks coming out of the backfield, and it stretches that linebacker. And to the short side, they're playing man. You see Worrells just jumps Weeks right there, which opens up that curl route for Bonga. The corner's playing deep, and you can throw that almost every time if you want.
17-yard gain from Thorson to Bonga. Meanwhile, for Bonga, 5 catches, 41 yards so far. Now from the 48-yard line, here's Thorson off a deep drop back. Going to dial up the deep ball downfield. Pass is incomplete. In and out of the hands of Caleb Titherington. He would have walked in for the touchdown.
Yeah, he had it, man. What wind is here is at the Thunder's back right now, and his picked up a little bit, so it is stronger. Harder to throw the ball and really time these longer routes. You see he's running. He's got great speed. He gets it on his fingertips, just can't quite haul it in. That's about a half a football too long. So receivers would say, hey, throw it a little less, and the quarterbacks would say, it hits you in the hands, you should catch it.
And they say 2 hands, you should be able to catch that. As was Nick Harper, by the way, in coverage, 2nd down and 10. Pass to the far side. It's going to be caught and brought out of bounds. It is Kortenhoven who comes up with the reception and the first down.
Similar passes by both teams. As I mentioned, that throw from the near hash to the far side of the field outside the numbers is available for both quarterbacks. Thorson's got a strong enough arm. You can see he put a little zip on that thing, and you get out to a guy like Kortenhoven, who's great after the catch. He's going to get that first down. So you can run that little 6-yard hitch a lot. They're going to play off man.
So now 1st down and 10 from the 40-yard line after that hookup from Thorson to Kortenhoven. Going to keep the chains moving with now 4:40 to go here before halftime. Here's Thorson once again looking to throw. He's going to take off and run. Ben Thorson still on his feet. Thorson.
Flag down.
And a flag on the play as he is upended at about the 26-yard line. We'll see what the marker is against.
Well, Thorson, not a big runner, but 2 big runs so far in this game. He had one in the first quarter, and he had one there. I guess there was no flag. Thought I saw a flag. You saw a flag? I thought I saw a flag go down, but nope. That's going to be a huge first down. So Thorson using his legs, not something you expect, but hey, they gave it to him and he took it. He's a great decision maker so far this season.
And now we'll hand it off. It is Giovanni Weeks. Weeks still on his feet. Oh, look at the cutback. Giovanni Weeks. He's in for the touchdown.
Yeah, it's just not something. I mean, he's tough to bring down. He got downhill there. They had a nice hole there, and then he's just hard to bring down in the open field. He's got such quick feet. He makes 2 moves on these guys, and then he accelerates away. He's got great acceleration and speed. He's a complete back at this level. Catches the ball. He's incredibly fast. His feet are good, and he's physical. We've seen it all tonight, and Gio has just done a fantastic job as a Thunder. Huge touchdown there. Now you got to convert this extra point here.
50 touchdowns now for Giovanni Weeks. What an amazing career he has had here at Wheaton. That's his 3rd rushing touchdown tonight here in the first half. As Mateo Jess's extra point is good, so the Thunder lead it by 7.
That's big. Now you want to you got to get a stop. Be great if you could get a stop and then a score. You got two timeouts for both teams here. There's 4 minutes to go in the half. Augie obviously wants to go, not hurry up, but they don't have to go hurry up, but they're going to go a little bit faster than usual. They would love to get points here. You know, as a coach, you're thinking, hey, we get the ball at the end of the half. If we go down and get points, and we get the ball to start of the second half, 2 opportunities to get points before the other team even touches the ball. That's what you're thinking as a coach. If you're the Wheaton coaches, you're like, hey, we get a stop. We can maybe get the ball and do a 2-minute drill and go down and get some points before half because they get it to start the second half, and then we can kind of stay on track in terms of the back and forth. So that's the thinking here. Big possession right here in the game. The Thunder, if they can get a stop and then go down and get a few more points, can extend their lead, put a lot of pressure on Augie. Likewise, if Augie can go down and get something here, then they get points to start the second half. They could actually potentially take the lead. So big possession right here before the half.
By the way, for Giovanni Weeks, that is his 7th game with 3 rushing touchdowns. He's now 2 rushing touchdowns shy of tying Chuck Schoner's record for the most rushing touchdowns in a career. And that kick will go into the end zone, no return, and a touchback, and the Vikings will now come onto the field.
Wind at your back on this side for the Thunder, have the wind at their back. Augie going into the wind. Wind seems to have picked up a little bit. We watched the flags off the goalposts. Also, there's a flag on the east end of the field, right by the soccer field, a big American flag that's blowing almost straight out. When it started the game, it was kind of flopping a little bit, and now it's kind of blowing almost straight from east to west, so the wind seems to have picked up a little bit.
Yeah, the weather app says 7 miles per hour from east to west. We'll see if that plays a factor with 4:05 left to go before halftime. Here's Barwash looking outside. That pass is going to be caught, and having to go up and get the play is Nate Henry.
Yeah, again, big physical receiver. He's listed as backup tight end, also one of the wide receivers here. 6'1", 224 pounds.
By the way, 6th completion for Barwash. Not necessarily the most accurate quarterback so far in this game, but still in it. Down 7. And he has done what he's needed to do. A handoff inside and absolutely nowhere to go for DeGioia. That Thunder defense being led by Peter Johannick making the tackle.
Yeah, Parrish comes under the block there and gets the first hit on him to stand him up, and then Johannick cleans it up. Those two guys are dynamic defensive ends, and both of them underclass. And well, Isaac's a junior and Johannick's a sophomore, so you're going to get multi-years out of those two guys. It's a fun duo to watch.
3rd down and 3 now for the Vikings. Currently 0 of 4 on 3rd down efficiency. The clock now bleeding under 3:05. We'll see if clock management now comes into play, especially if the Thunder can get a stop. Here's Barwash looking left. Pass is caught. Nice. No,
knocked it out. Great job, Max Wilson. It was back shoulder throw. Perfect execution, but before, as he's pulling it in, you can watch Max Wilson does a great job right here. Gets his hands in there and punches it out.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be a completion, but Wilson was such an excellent play.
Well, it was a completion, but one of your better defensive players makes the play. Huge play in the game because you get a first down trying to go down and get points. Now you're going to get 2:54 with 2 timeouts, making them punt. You're going to get reasonable field position. If you field this punt, you could get it around the 40 or so. Plenty of time to go down and get points. Big point in this game.
Kornhoven back deep to receive for the Thunder. And he'll call for the fair catch.
Oh, he dropped it.
Oh, he dropped it, and the ball is loose. Who has it?
He got it.
Looks like Kornhoven able to land on, so avoids disaster there.
Yeah, that would have been disastrous as well.
So Thunder will retain possession, 2:45 left to go. And Doug, is this where you start running from 4-minute offense to basically 2-minute offense?
Yeah, I think you're going to run your basic 2-minute drill here. It's 2:45, so you don't have to be in a massive hurry, but they're definitely going to, run the stuff that they practice every week. They do this 2-3 times a week, this drill exactly, and they're going to try to go down and get points.
Thunder lead it by 7. Again, Augustana will receive the ball to start the second half. Here's Thorson off the play foot, looking to throw downfield pass. It's going to be incomplete, though.
Touchdown. That would have been a touchdown. Double move. You see him. You'll see it on the replay. Bonga runs right at him, and then he chops his feet like he's going to run a hitch route, and the corner plants his feet and tries to break, and then he takes off. And he went right by him, wide open. Just hit him in stride. Tough one.
So those deep throws so far for Thorson, not necessarily on the same page with his receivers. That's the second time he's missed it.
It's hard when you've got wind that's significant, not huge, but it's significant. It makes it much harder to throw the ball on those long passes.
Korthoven to the bottom of your screen. Caleb Titherington operating out of the slot. Bonga to the top of your screen. Run pass option. Pass to the outside is caught. And there goes Caleb Titherington after breaking a tackle. Wisely stepped out of bounds.
It's a first down.
Yep, and picks up the first down.
Nice job. Yeah, when you're throwing the ball with the wind at your back, the ball tends to sail a little more for whatever reason. When you throw the ball into the wind, it tends to dive because the wind will push the nose down, and those balls end up being short. The long balls you end up throwing short into the wind and too far with the wind. It's just hard to get a feel when there's a lot of wind. You have to do a bunch of that in the pregame to get a feel for it.
13-yard gain on second down, now from the 41-yard line. They fake it to Weeks. Here's Thorson. Fires far side. That pass is going to be caught. What a grab by Seth Korthoven.
Cole Romano comes in low on Thorson there, and lucky that Thorson's okay, but he kind of trips coming in.
Clock now bleeds under 2 minutes, by the way. Thunder have 2 timeouts.
Wasn't Romano, it was a linebacker, excuse me.
And the Thunder bleeding a little bit of clock. Vikings also have 2 timeouts left, so we'll see what both Coach Scott and Coach Bell opt to do with their timeouts and clock management. Now from the 46-yard line. Here's Thorson on run pass option. Pass to the far side. It's going to be caught, and it's going to be Ben Bonga. Stays in bounds, though, so that'll keep the clock running.
Well, the clock will stop to move the chains for the first down.
Yes.
And so they get a chance now to get the play in while it resets. They still have their timeouts. Now they're already running the clock, and the chains aren't set yet, so the refs are getting a little aggressive here, but
now under 70 seconds left before halftime. Thunder at the Vikings 43-yard line. Here is Thorson. Has time to throw. Fires. Pass is going to be caught. It's Seth Korthoven still going. Oh, shoots it back inside. Korthoven inside the 15. Finally whammied at the 14-yard line. A great throw.
Really great throw. From the far hash out to the numbers and down the field. That's such a tough throw. You see him on the left hash. Look how far he throws this ball. The guy beating down him, slips the ball on a rope over the outstretched defender to the numbers on the far side of the field. That's a tough throw to make at this level. Really is. Phenomenal throw, on target, big play.
Thunder not using their timeouts. Now under 40 seconds to go. Here is Thorson. Looking to throw over the middle, and it's going to be incomplete, though.
Had him. He also had Karstens for a touchdown down the rail because nobody had taken the running back out of the backfield. You see the replay here. Watch Karstens come out. Well, the linebacker starting to go there, but boy, it looked like he put it right on Juska. I don't know if he just didn't see it or what, but that was a touchdown. Could have been a touchdown throw there.
By the way, on that last play to Korthoven, give credit to him. Yards after the catch, was able to make a move and get it all the way down to the 10-yard line. It's really the yak or the rack, whatever you want to call it, that's been deadly for the Thunder. You have Seth Korthoven in motion. Here is Thorson looking his way. No, it's been Juska who comes up with the grab. And I'm not sure if he was able to get out of bounds.
They waved. They stopped the clock.
So he
definitely
was able to get
did.
out of bounds.
That's going to be 3rd and goal.
So it does save a timeout. There's that tackle being made by Dakota Street.
Thunder going to go ahead and use one of their timeouts to try to get a good play, which is a smart
Timeout.
call. It's
Wheaton.
Huge
That is their
situation here.
second
It's
timeout of the first half.
3rd and goal, and I think Jesse just wants to look at the play sheet and make sure that they get the right call in and talk about their options with the coaches, what they want to do here. They practice this all the time. You know, at least twice a week they have segments where it's a red zone and goal line type of plays and what the play selections they want and versus the defenses they see. So they're talking on the headphones. They're talking about, hey, what defenses have we seen down here the couple times we've been down here so far? What do we think we're going to get? Have they been pressuring us? They don't pressure a lot, but they did pressure one time on 3rd down, so we'll see if they try to bring pressure here to try to speed Thorson up a little bit. They want to get themselves in the best play. What the Thunder have been great about, and Jesse's been great on play design with along with Andrew Bowers, the offensive coordinator, is getting the ball in the hands of your best players in situations like this. So whatever they do, they're going to try to target Ben Bonga, Geo Weeks, and potentially Seth Korthoven here. Whatever combination that they're looking for, it's going to be, and potentially Juska as well. Juska's obviously one of their better players, which is a lot of options. That's four guys that are all going to be out there. That's just about everybody. But in that order, I would think they're going to try to see what they got, and they want a play that gives them the best chance.
And you got to think with one timeout left, the entire playbook is open, so it's not necessarily you have to work the end zone or the sidelines. So 3rd down and 9 from the 9. Play clock running down to 6. Giovanni Weeks in the backfield. Here is Thorson looking to throw. And
you're gonna get
there's actually a
false start.
false start penalty.
Big mistake there. 5 extra yards, not what you wanted.
False start, offense, number 18, 5-yard penalty, replay the down.
So does that change your play call? You know, you're looking for a 9-yard
Game
pass.
clock. Please reset the clock to 29 seconds. 29 seconds, game clock.
Now you're thinking, you know, a little bit, 5-yard extra yards is big when you're trying to get it in tight windows in the goal line. You want to make sure you have a chance for points. So maybe you run something more conservative and play for the field goal here. You may still try to shoot for the end zone.
This is from the 13-yard line. Here's Thorson looking to throw. Pass low, and
he caught it.
It's going to be caught.
Yeah.
It's
so
Kortenhoven who comes up the grab.
I think they're playing for the field. Well, I think they're playing for the field goal, but he hasn't called. Yeah, they're going to wait and call timeout. Jesse's going to let the clock run down, make sure this field goal is the last play of the half, and then he's going to bring the field goal kicker out. So 10 seconds to go. He's standing by the official watching it.
Vikings could stop the clock, but they're not.
They're going to call their timeout right here.
So that timeout does come in. That's the Thunder's final timeout. It'll bring on Mateo Jesh.
Timeout, Wheaton. That is their 3rd and final timeout of the first half. Please set the game clock to 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
So bring on about a 25-yard field goal from here, Mateo Jesh.
So if you can get this through, you end up with a 10-point lead, which is big. Augie gets the ball to start the second half. So the Thunder will have managed this really well down the stretch. There were 6 minutes to go. They went down and, got what they wanted, and then they stopped Augie and got another chance. So the Thunder potentially coming out with, 10 points here in the last 6 minutes, which is great to extend this lead to a 10-point lead. Again, last year down in Rock Island, this game was 21-14 at half, and depending on the outcome here, it's going to be somewhere near that. It's going to be either 20-13 or 23-13. At the half here with 2 seconds to go.
25-yard field goal from Mateo Jesh. Trying to make it a 2-score game. 2 seconds left. Kick on the way. It was low, and it is no good. So that might play into a factor as the Thunder only lead 20-13 at halftime.
Yeah, the kicking game has not been good today in either way. So that's a disappointing way to end. It's got to be really disappointing for the offense and for Jesse, for the team going in. Augie, a little bit of a boost. They get the ball coming out here, down a score. Still a ball game.
Yeah, still 1-score game. And so far in the offense for Augustana, you have Tyler Ravelli, 6 carries, 90 yards. He's been taking the bulk of the carry. Of course, he got hurt, but then you have Mike DeGioia and Ben Lundum taking the carries. And so far, that running game for the Vikings has boasted really well.
It has. They've been able to control the ground game a little bit, which, again, has the benefit of shortening the game, but also getting Augie more opportunities. So we'll see how this plays in the second half, what the commitment will be in this first drive coming out. I'm sure they're going to try to establish the run. They would love to go down and just run the ball right at the Thunder and get points. But big drive coming out to start the second half.
Yep, so Thunder lead 2013, 10th ranked team in the nation, still fighting it out. And we'll see you at the start of the second half after these messages and a word from the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network.
Wheaton was definitely the best place, for me that I could have ever gone. I look back, just making the decision to come to Wheaton, I'm so grateful, for everyone in that process who helped lead me to Wheaton. I mean, I feel like I've grown in just so many different ways, looking back to my freshman year, even just thinking about it now, to kind of where I am now, and really couldn't have asked for any better place to be. And honestly, again, that's a testament to all the people that I got to surround myself with every day here.
When I saw him play in high school, I came back and told Coach Banner, he clearly is talented enough, but he is so small. Growing up as very short, skinny, kind of out-of-place point guard, I think that's really where you have to have a chip on your shoulder to know and go in that, I've put in the work and I deserve to be on the court here. But to be honest, he wasn't the best player on his high school team, and then he wasn't the best player at Wheaton for 4 years. But honestly, very quickly into his first few practices, I could tell we had somebody pretty special. But he is, by all measure now, one of the all-time great players to ever put on a Wheaton jersey. But he's also going to be the type of young man that you can point back to and say, this is what a star player looks like, behaves like, and acts. I think looking back early on in my career, I really was afraid to fail. And that's something that we talked about a lot, was throw all your dice out there, put all the chips out there, and don't be afraid to fail. And that's something that we kind of worked on together. And that's really what helped us gain trust. And I mean, for me, my past, 2-3 years, I was really able to play more free. When you get a young man like Tyson, you realize you got something pretty special as a coach, because in a lot of ways, he became the leader of our team. And I just cheered a lot. I mean, he just became somebody who really embodies everything you want from a best player. It's honestly such a great honor, and it's something that, I never really thought was on the table. I do describe the Justice Trophy regularly as the Division III Heisman for men's basketball. It really is in many ways the most prestigious award that is given out in men's and women's basketball at the Division III level. Not only measures the basketball ability of the men and women at Division III basketball, but also the academic and service of those individuals. So it's a total award that really encompasses not only just the talent level, but really the most outstanding student athlete in our sport. The initial feelings were just of gratitude and thankfulness to Wheaton, to Coach Schauer, to Coach Panner, everybody who invested in me during this time. I thought he was better than people probably perceived. The fact that he wasn't on any All-America lists, preseason lists, surprised me, given the career he had had to that point. And I think he kind of carried a little bit of that chip on his shoulder into this season and used that as motivation. I'm not going to let anybody outwork me. I think that's really kind of where it comes from and stems from, is just wanting to win badly enough to where, you're willing to sacrifice. One of the things I love about Tyson is he averaged over 5 rebounds a game, and he's not much taller than me. So he just simply was relentless to go rebound the basketball, and knew that given our personnel, that was going to be a potential area of weakness and that he needed to help us there. I honestly believe if I didn't show up for a week, Tyson would have made sure our team did exactly the same thing we did when I was there. And so his legacy will be brought up over and over and over again, whether I'm here or not, because he's going to be on the wall and that trophy's going to be downstairs. The academic reputation of the institution is so high that the students we get here are really self-motivated to do well academically. That matters to them. So they're typically pretty good students on our roster. And then because of their relationship to Jesus, there's a sense that we should serve others and try to model that as Jesus did. Looking back on the Israel trip and Zimbabwe trip, those are two things, just looking back on my career, that I will never forget. The relationships that we built out there were just so incredible. Go to the Holy Lands, we're going to do all those biblical sites and really study the Bible on that trip. And our trip to Zimbabwe, which Tyson also went on, we did clinics and did service projects, and we are going to visit historical sites and do some fun stuff in addition to playing some games. But we're going to do it in a different context than most Division III basketball programs. There's just so many incredible things about those trips. Makes the whole time at Wheaton, and specifically a Wheaton basketball player, just so special. All he cared about was winning, and that just makes life easy for a coach. Because if your best player cares about that and your best player has his work ethic, it's hard for other people to come up with too many excuses. They sort of follow because he's just such a great leader.
I would say be bold. There's a lot of people here on campus who want to enter into a relationship with you. So many programs and things to get involved with, but get involved and be bold in that. And also just be unashamed of who you are. Wheaton, there is no perfect Wheaton student. Rather, we're just a bunch of broken, sinful people who are just in pursuit of a perfect God. Orientation committee, and then also, of course, transfer orientation committee if you're a transfer. These are people who have been praying for you and are making so many invitations to enter into a relationship with you in that first month being at campus. So I would just say respond to those invitations, and that goes for OC members as well as the faculty and staff that surround them. I'd say the biggest challenge was how lonely it was. When you first step onto campus, you don't have all the friends that you're gonna have. And so it took time to just learn how to make friends again. One of the best pieces of advice that I had was to introduce myself to my professors as a transfer. And I was surprised just by how many emails I had from professors just making themselves known. So this is a campus where you're so known and loved.
We need engineers who can come up with solutions to all of the multifaceted problems that we face in our world today. People who have the ability to apply math, science, physics, and engineering concepts to come up with solutions that might affect someone's life in the future for the better. One of the really special things about Wheaton's program is our focus on the liberal arts. So not only are students able to get a robust engineering education, but they're also able to participate in humanities courses, philosophy, and history courses as well. We think that a student who has that liberal arts background is more adaptable. We think that they are going to be more effective, and we think that they're going to be more marketable. Through our 3-2 program, through our 4-year engineering program, all of our students get training on all of the equipment in our lab. Laser cutters, 3D printers, all the different hand tools and different machinery and equipment that our students might need to be able to create some sort of prototype. So they're not just solving textbook problems, but they actually are given some sort of real life issue that they're trying to solve. That's when my students really see the importance of engineering and also why it's so important to fill their gaps in knowledge to be able to serve as many people as possible for Christ and for His kingdom.
When I first came to Wheaton, the ISP was one of the first offices I found. They helped me get settled in, from getting me a SIM card to taking me to the bank to open a bank account. They're very supportive of students whose families live overseas. From freshman year, I joined Mukapa, which is a club at Wheaton for third kosher kids, and we got together every Sunday to share a meal or have fun together, and it was a great place to find community. During my sophomore year, I started working with Mukapa as a publicity manager, and it was amazing to just see freshmen coming in and get settled at Wheaton and find community at Mukapa just as I did.
This year, I've been blessed to be a part of the Diaconoi program, or DEECS for short. We're essentially campus tour guides or campus hosts. Some of the most rewarding aspects of being a DEEC has been learning how to grow in confidence in myself and my public speaking skills, but also just the community that I've been a part of. I'm part of a community of 13 other tour guides, and we're constantly praying for each other, uplifting each other, encouraging each other, and pushing through hard times together, sharing our love for Wheaton with prospective students. Residential life here at Wheaton is all about the students. Our residential life team is regularly putting on different events, from Bible study nights to worship nights to holiday parties to game nights and movie nights, and they're helping organize these events so that we can grow in community, meet new friends, but also develop our relationship with each other as brothers and sisters in Christ, and really getting to encourage each other and just have a lot of fun. Some of my best friends I've met through going to these different events that happen on campus, and Res Life has been my favorite part about Wheaton in a lot of ways.
What makes Wheaton College unique? Our focus is not only on what you can achieve, but also on who you can become. We've been called one of the nation's colleges that change lives because that is exactly what we do. More than a degree, you'll graduate with wisdom and values you can apply to your family life, church life, and professional life. So who are Wheaties today? We are scientists, lawyers, doctors, and CEOs. We are filmmakers, engineers, policy experts, and educators. We're investment bankers, musicians, and entrepreneurs. We're church leaders, missionaries, and theologians, parents, neighbors, and friends. All of us living out our callings in a variety of ways through Christ-centered leadership. Ready to discover your ambitious calling? From psychology to business, health to history, Wheaton College offers 150 plus majors, minors, and concentrations, and 20 plus grad programs, all taught by world-class scholars who will mentor you, motivate you, and prepare you for the career you want. But the top-tier academic experience you'll find at Wheaton doesn't stop at career preparation. Here, we want you to think big picture. See the world through a Christ-centered point of view. Make connections between your faith and your interests and your studies. Pursue academic excellence, not at the risk of your faith, but for the sake of your faith. In the end, you'll have developed a vision for vocation and a passion for service, while strengthening your wisdom and character. That's what makes the Wheaton experience so profound and so long-lasting. It's a whole person preparation for your whole life's journey. They say the friends you make at college will be friends for life. We say the friends you make at Wheaton College will not only be lifelong, but life-changing. That's because Wheaton is a grace-filled, Christ-centered, fun community unlike any other. From talent shows to all-school communion, Christmas celebrations to hip-hop battles, you'll have opportunities every single day to express who you are and how you see the world, to lead, work, serve, and worship together, to define your convictions with peers and mentors who support and encourage you, and expect your friendships to last not only on campus, but throughout your life as part of a Wheaton family that spans the globe. This isn't just an educational experience. It's an unparalleled journey that you can only find at Wheaton. Whether you're on stage or on the field, serving the community or studying abroad, at Wheaton College, you'll find excellence and faith all across the board. Love bird watching, news reporting, or swing dancing? Our student-led clubs have you covered. Want to play your heart out? Our All-American athletics teams win championships, and our conservatory grads win Grammys. From our Black Hills Science Station or our Honey Rock Center for Leadership Development to our global programs in England, Spain, China, and beyond, you'll be part of an incredible experience where you can pursue your academic, athletic, and artistic talents and your Christian values. You can confidently choose Wheaton, not just to learn, but to live.
About to start the second half here as the 10th ranked Wheaton Thunder only edging out the Augustana Vikings by 7. And so far statistically, if you look at the first half, the Thunder dominated time of possession. They also have the most yardage, but they only lead by 7. Augustana still within with a fighting chance.
Yeah, no question. You know, the stats tell the story of really what is the game. The Thunder running 44 plays for 264 yards, and when Augustana running just 28 plays for 158 yards. That's been Wheaton's kind of motif the first 2 weeks in their first 2 wins. Both teams, Oshkosh ran 53 plays total. Wesleyan ran 53 plays total. You know, if you double these numbers at half, Wheaton's on track to run 88, and Augie's on track to run 56. And so the Thunder are 9th in the country in time of possession. They did so with a couple of long drives, holding the ball for quite a bit, 18 minutes to just 11 for Augustana. That's kind of been what Wheaton has done, but they haven't really done it on the ground. Not as much success on the ground as they've enjoyed previous games. And also down at Augie last year, they ran for 326 yards. Augie's come in and said, hey, we're going to take away the run. And that's what they've done. So far, the Thunder with 19 rushes and 86 yards. Giovanni Weeks has 12 for 63, but he does have 3 touchdowns. He has a 26-yard long run, which is his third touchdown, 5.2-yard average. Ben Thorson with a couple of runs to help pad those running stats. He's got 17 net yards, was sacked once. Christian Carson's 3 carries for just 7 yards. Passing game, Thorson has been his efficient self, 17 of 25. That's about 68% completion, 178 yards, and a long of 33. Missed 2 wide open guys deep. That could have been big scores, but a little bit of wind that had that effect of that. He's been sacked once. On the receiving side, Ben Bonga targeted 10 of the times, and he's had 7 catches for 69 yards. Seth Kortenhoven targeted 6 times, has 6 catches for 91 yards, a long of 49. And Ben Juska, 2 catches, Caleb Titherington 1. On the defensive side, you have Isaac Parrish has 3 hits, Johnny Eller, Lawson Hagler, and Caleb McClung the first 2 with 3, Caleb McClung with 2. Augustana on the flip side runs 28 plays for 158 yards, rushing 14 for 108. 72 of that came with 1 carry from Tyler Ravelli, who we didn't see in most of the second quarter. We'll see if he comes back out after half. Mike DeGioia doing a nice job filling in, 25 yards on 6 carries. And then Cole Boardwatch, the quarterback, just 6 of 14, less than 50% for 50 yards. He's going to have to be better if Augie wants to stay in this game going down the stretch. He's been sacked once. Nate Henry has 2 catches. Bobby and Sarah, 2 catches. Jordan Vesey and Braden Smith with 1 each. On the defensive side, Darren Oregon with 6 tackles. Rondé Worrells with 6.
Those first half stats presented by Timothy Financial Counsel. It's not what we do that is unique, but how we do it. And now the start of the third quarter is a touchback. And so Augie, who deferred in the first half, going to get the ball to start the second half. Of course, the Thunder missed that field goal chip shot at the end of the first half, so it's only a 1-possession game.
So Augie wants to flip the script here and start the second half. Big drive for them coming out. You know, they deferred when they won the toss at the beginning, which means they want to get the ball here. They want to keep establishing the run. They've been very successful running the ball. Big veteran offensive line, 5 returning starters, including their tight end, Jake Miller, is a returning starter as well. And they want to control the ball on the ground.
So here is the pass to the outside. He's swinging it, and that pass is going to be caught.
That's Ravelli.
Able to wrap him up. It is Ravelli, as you said. Multiple Thunder players, including Lawson Hagler there on the tackle.
And coaches kind of consider this a run play. They're blocking out on the perimeter right away, which you can do when the ball's thrown behind the line of scrimmage. They get it quickly to the running back. So they're trying to get out on the perimeter and take advantage of what they think would be mismatches on the perimeter. The Thunder overpowering them and stepping up for no gain, or just short gain.
Only a gain of 2. Now it's 2nd down and 8 from the Vikings 27-yard line. Barwash operating out of the shotgun, looking to throw downfield. Barwash going to dial up the deep ball. Pass is caught. Oh, what a grab.
That's Vesey.
Jordan Vesey comes up with a catch all the way down to the 35-yard line.
Wow, it was a great catch. He goes and high points the ball. Now the Wheaton safety is Max Smith coming over there to come over the top. He's got to go high point the ball too. You got to go up and compete for that. Those are 50-50 balls. He was over the top. He's in perfect position. He's just got to go up and get his hands on it.
All the way down to the 36-yard line. Here is Barwash looking to throw downfield. Hit as he releases it down the sidelines. And are they going to say it's a catch?
It's incomplete.
Nope, it's incomplete, says the far right judge. So 2nd down and 10.
That's Max Smith coming back right away with a big play, knocking the ball out of the receiver's hand, who's trying to tightrope the sideline there. So Max Smith knocking the ball out of his hands there to bring up 2nd down.
They were going for Jordan Vesey once again. So now from the 36-yard line, Vikings opening drive to start the second half. Wheaton brings pressure, handoff inside. Oh, look at this, a big hole for Tyler Ravelli.
As Hagler drags him down again. I'm surprised that's their first run. They start the second half with 3 passes when they've had so much success in the running game. And again, you're just right there, kind of a from behind tackle away from getting another big play on a first down. You get 7 yards on first down. They've run the ball pretty effectively so far. That's 15 carries for about 116 yards.
Ravelli had 90 yards on 6 carries, including that rushing touchdown. So now 3rd down and 5. RPO, they will hand it off inside, and look at this big hole for Ravelli down the sideline. Tyler Ravelli, and he's finally tackled at the 4-yard line. Another big run for Tyler Ravelli, the senior.
Just controlling the line of scrimmage here. Again, they're getting up on people. It's the same kind of counter action right there. They're kicking out the defensive end. It's tougher for Peter Johannick. He's a little bit of a smaller guy, 230 pounds. He's got to take on that pulling guard, and you got to come across his face and make that thing spill.
Ravelli now over 100 yards. They again hand it off to him, and he's in for the touchdown.
Big drive, big statement there for Augie. They want to come back down here. They're establishing the line of scrimmage. They said, hey, we're a different team, and they come into this game averaging 200 yards on the ground, and they're well on their way to something more than that so far. Having their way up front with the Thunder, which again Thunder's got a smaller front overall. They've got the 2 big tackles, but on the ends you got Parrish at 229 and Johannick at 236, and they're pulling those big linemen, those big veteran graduate offensive linemen, and kicking out and turning up, and that's tough when you got smaller guys.
Sidney Maroon now on for the extra point. And it is good, and we are knotted up at 20 apiece here early in the 3rd quarter.
So big turn of events. The Thunder go down right before half. They've got a chip shot field goal they missed to take what would have been a 10-point lead, so they go in with a 7-point lead. Augie gets the ball, goes down, has no problem going length of the field, scoring to tie this game up. So the Thunder are going to be in a battle here against this Augustana team. Veteran Augustana team. They have a ton of confidence. Again, 20 returning starters across the board, including 10 5th or 6th year seniors that are back on this team. A lot of all-conference guys, a lot of 3-year starters. This is an experienced group that if you let them stay in this, they're gonna take you right to the wire in this game.
And the Thunder are the 10th ranked team in the nation according to D3Football.com. They're 8th in the Coaches Bowl, but so far the Vikings proven to be a battle despite being unranked. You talked about that veteran presence. It has so far shown to pay off for the Vikings. Meanwhile, for Tyler Ravelli, now has 125 yards on 9 carries, 2 touchdowns in this game, his 5th rushing touchdown of the season. Not up this game, 20 apiece, and now it'll be Ben Thorson who'll get a crack at it. An anxious Wheaton crowd, probably not expecting to be so close with the Vikings here in the 3rd quarter. A short kick, and this will be returned at about the 20-yard line. It is going to be Seth Kortenhoven, and he's going to be brought down.
So we get the wind at your back on this quarter. Again, the wind is coming from left to right as you look at the screen. So the Thunder will have the wind here in the 3rd quarter, and that's why that kick is a little bit shorter, because you're kicking back into a pretty stiff breeze. Again, now the flag that's in the east end zone is just blowing straight horizontal across the field. So there's a pretty stiff wind up there for the kicking game and for longer passes it'll make an effect on.
Yeah, the wind is blowing from east to west at 7 miles per hour. That's definitely played a part on special teams. Here's Thorson operating out of the shotgun, and they'll hand it off to Weeks. Weeks trying to bounce it to the outside. He's going to be brought down about the 39-yard line with Johnny Breeden there on the tackle.
Yeah, nice job. Tanner McDonald, the backup outside linebacker, comes up to get in on along with Johnny Breeden. He does get about 4 yards, so 2nd and 6.
By the way, Giovanni Weeks 133 yards shy of tying Sol Otechu's record for the most rushing yards in a career. That pass to the outside is going to be caught and brought down about a yard shy of the 1st down. It's Ben Bonga.
Nice sure tackle there in the defensive backfield. That's Dakota Strait, the junior defensive back out of Frankfort, Illinois, went to Providence Catholic. comes up and makes a sure tackle to bring up 3rd and short. Big play right here.
8th catch of the game for Ben Bonga. 3rd down and 1 now for the Thunder. 4 of 8 on 3rd down conversion so far tonight. And they're looking to throw on the run pass option, and they got Seth Kortenhoven. Kortenhoven dragged down from behind, but not before getting it into Augustana territory and picking up a huge 1st down.
Yeah, again, this coverage out to the field, which a lot of teams do, they're going to play off man, and you got a guy like Kortenhoven or Bonga out there, you feel really confident just throwing a little hitch route, getting that 1st down. That's an easy throw, and Thorson has plenty of zip on the ball to be able to get it out there. So it's the full length of the field throw, which is tough for a lot of quarterbacks, but Thorson has the arm strength to do it.
8th catch for Seth Kortenhoven in this Wheaton offense. Off the play fake here is Thorson. Fires, and the pass is going to be caught. It's Ben Juska. Oh, a lot of green grass still going. And finally down to the 17-yard line.
He makes Johnny Breeden pay for what will be his 7th tackle. He just lowers his shoulder to get an extra 4 or 5 yards. Thunder into the red zone in a response to the big Augie drive to open the second half. Augie opens the second half, goes down the field to tie it up, 20-20. Thunder responding now with a methodical length of the field drive of their own, something they need to convert on.
So now from the Augustana 18-yard line, Weeks in the backfield, Bonga to the bottom of your screen. Here's Thorson. They're going to try to set up a screen. The pass is going to be incomplete.
They're trying to get to Giovanni Weeks on a little screen pass down there. Tough defense to run screen pass. I don't know if they were thinking they might get pressured. Augie's not a big pressure team, but right there, you could see the defensive lineman, Cole Romano, was right there in the middle of that, was having none of it. He just abbreviated. He sniffed it out and just got in the way there. Lucky he just kind of lived to play another day.
So now 2nd down and 10 after that incompletion for the Thunder. Weeks stays in the game. Bonga to the top of your screen.
2 tight ends down here to the bottom.
Meanwhile, you got Kortenhoven in the slot. Play clock at 8. Here's Thorson, only on a 4-man rush, looking to throw. Pass is going to be incomplete. It went out of the hands of Ben Juska.
Yeah, again, it's, just a little bit in front of him on the big fellas, the tight ends here. They run in this combo route. They practice this. He's the slot, so he's behind Vodacek, who's on the line of scrimmage. They both run vertical, and it looks like Juska tries to sell an out route, and then he cuts in behind the vertical route towards the middle of the field, and they're trying to get him there. He just led him a little bit too far. You want to put it on the body of a bigger body like that, the tight ends.
So it's now 3rd down and 10 after 2 straight incompletions for the Thunder. This game knotted up at 20. A 4-man rush here. Thorson feeling some pressure. He's able to escape for now. Thorson fires pass. Is going to be caught. Oh, what a grab and what a play to Ben Bonga. Improvisation from Ben Thorson.
It's still going to bring up 4th down and 1. We'll see what Jesse does here. He's going to keep the offense on the field, given the kicker's struggles in this situation. But, wow, that looked like a sack, and then it looked like Ben Thorson was just throwing the ball away. And somehow they figured out how to complete it.
And somehow he was able to escape back this well. Thought he got the 1st down, but they do mark a 2-yard shot, and the Thunder not afraid to go for it here on 4th down. Currently 3 of 3 on 4th down conversions entering this game. Here is Thorson. Fires, pass is
knocked away.
Incomplete. A huge
great
stand
play.
by
That's
that
Tim
Augie
Swaney.
defense.
That's Tim Swaney out there sitting inside that 3rd receiver, and they just thought they had a mismatch there with the linebacker. But he buzzes that route right away, sees the quarterback's eyes, you look at him get right underneath there, and he just lays out and gets his hand on it. Probably was a little bit better going to the next receiver.
Yeah, Titherington.
But big turnover on downs there. The Augie defense with a massive play to get off the field. And that breaks the Thunder's, I think, 100% red zone percentage on the season, doesn't it?
Yep, and it also makes it the first time the Thunder have not converted on 4th down, as that pass was intended for J.J. Ruff. And so now Augustana, if you're an Augie fan, you have to be excited. You got the score on offense, and then you got a huge stop on defense, and now a chance to retake the lead as they go stretch left to the outside. And it is Tyler Ravelli continuing to have an excellent performance as he takes it down to the 19-yard line.
Same play they've been running, just pulling the guard and the tackle and taking it around the outside, this kind of counter tray look, old school football. Handling the line of scrimmage, 8 yards on 1st down. The Thunder don't really have an answer. They're attacking this off-tackle area with the undersized defensive ends with putting big bodies on them.
So over 143 rushing yards for the Vikings. And again, a handoff inside, but not really going to get that much that time as the Thunder defense able to stop him.
But he got the first. That's all he needed was a couple. Similar running play. You see the tight end, the guard's kicking out. He logs him. He and then the tight end leads up. They're just trying to wash these. The Thunder defensive line are trying to move a lot. They're undersized, and so they try to move and slant angle a little bit. And so they're just trying to wash guys down, and they pull these backside guys and try to get big bodies on these smaller Thunder front bodies.
So now from the 21-yard line, after picking up the first down, they roll the pocket to the right. Barwash pass is going to be low and incomplete. It was intended for Ben Ludlam, who was coming into the flats.
That time you had Peter Johannick beat the block. They put a tight end on him, which is an ill-advised matchup. He's going to beat most tight end blocks, and he got up into Bardwaj's face and forced a bad throw.
So now 2nd down and 10, by the way. Cole Barwash, 8 of 17 on the day. Still looking for his first touchdown pass, a completion percentage of 47. This game is tied.
2nd and 10 here.
From the 21-yard line, you got Jordan Vesey to the bottom of your screen. Here is Barwash with some time, fires on the crosser, and the pass is caught. It's Braden Smith who has the grab. Very short gain, though.
Caleb McClung, linebacker who's been getting a lot of time here, steps up and makes the tackle. Nice, sure-handed tackle, brings up 3rd and long. Big play. The Thunder can get off the field here.
Vikings 1 of 6 on 3rd downs in this game. Of course, they were not a good 3rd down offense entering this game, but would like to keep the drive alive. As you see, the Thunder fans and Riken's rowdies trying to get on their feet.
Freshman Grant Hayworth in as one of the 3 down linemen with Isaac Parrish as they have the nickel look in here on 3rd and long.
From the 23-yard line,
they're going to bring pressure.
Braden Smith in motion. Thunder showing pressure, they do bring it. Barwash, given time, he's going to try to take off and run, but he's going to be tackled from behind.
Great job by McClung, who was picked up by Ravelli. They picked up the blitz, and then Barwash just wasn't really patient enough to set in there. Maybe there wasn't anybody open downfield, but he thinks he's going to take off and run, but McClung just a little too quick. Does a great job of coming off the block, makes a tackle, Thunder force a punt. So big sequence.
The junior Caleb McClung making a huge 3rd down stop. So after 1 first down, Augustana will be forced to punt.
Now you're looking for Kortenhoven, who's probably a little too deep giving his punt into the wind here. He's had a couple decent returns here, so he's capable of making a big return and setting the Thunder up well here.
Yeah, right now he's at his own 38-yard line. You can't see it on the screen. Now he's lined up at the 40, calls for the fair catch, and that is where the Thunder's 2nd drive will start here in the 2nd half.
Great punt by Sidney Maroon. A lot of hang time, allows the coverage to get underneath it, eliminates the ability for the return. Kortenhoven wisely just makes the catch. Good field position for the Thunder now. Just outside of midfield, just at the plus 40-yard line here. 7:51 to go in the 3rd quarter. We got a tie game. Thunder are in a battle here against this veteran Augustana team who comes in just determined to start 3-0.
Yeah, trying to start 3-0 for the first time since 2001. That's when they won 10 games. And they'll hand it off, stretch wide, and it is going to be Giovanni Weeks trying to get as much as he can. Going to be tackled out of bounds at the 43-yard line.
That's Worrells and Harper on the stop there. Fighting off. Worrells fights off the block by Juska, who's a first-team all-conference linebacker, and just out-muscles them, and just a gain of 2 there.
So it's now 2nd down and 8 from the Thunder 43-yard line. Here's Thorson looking to throw over the middle, and he's got Ben Baga in stride.
He dropped it.
But he dropped
That's a fumble.
Oh, it is a fumble.
Sure, he just flat dropped it. There's a flag late.
Now there is a flag. Absolute confusion. Did he complete the process of the catches?
Yeah, he ran 4 or 5 steps. He just flat dropped. That's going to be a turnover, and it's going to be Augie's ball. I think there might have been an Augie player knocking down one of the Wheaton players at the end of that play. But somebody was down late. Who knows if I think it's probably going to get either added on to Augie, or Augie thinks it's against Wheaton.
Still trying to sort out what exactly is going on.
That's the type of place that's, again, going to be a personal foul type of thing, is where when that happens around that time, part of the play, something like that.
We have a completed catch and a fumble and turnover. After the play, 39 White. Unnecessary roughness, 15 yards, 1st down.
Yeah, so that's going to be Wheaton's first turnover on the season. This is a play that's been open all day. They've hit it once or twice. They've also incompleted it, and here they hit it. And then you can see he wasn't Boy, Bill, I used to see another camera angle, which I don't know that we have, to see if he did complete that catch, but he clearly took 3+ steps and dropped the ball.
Nick Harper, who was the closest defender to him, didn't even make contact. Just looked like the ball just slipped out of Bonga's hands after he made 3 steps. And we're just talking about some of the miscues that the Thunder have made. A turnover there, that's their first of the season. A couple of missed throws from Thorson to his receivers. That could have been big plays. The missed chip shot field goal that would have given the Thunder a 3-point lead. So far, the Vikings have been opportunistic. Give them credit as they operate from their own 19. Barwash pass to the outside. It's caught by Vesey, and Jordan Vesey plows his way up to the 28-29 yard line.
Play they've run a couple of times. Going to get the first down, though. It brings up 10. Just faking the run game, getting it out here on the quick screen. You got to get the pursuit, following those linemen out there. But Vesey's a nice run after the catch guy. He does a good job. Gets now they're not going to give him the first down. Second and short.
Second catch of the game for Vesey. And they'll hand it off inside, and trying to bounce to the outside is Ravelli. Tyler Ravelli is going to get that first down.
Nice job by Ravelli. He really was stuck in the backfield there, and he bounces it out, strings it out, and is able to just get enough for the first down. He's got McClung is on him, and then Hagler tries to get him, and it's Parrish from the backside who chases him down the line, eventually makes the tackle, but not before he's able to pick up the first down. If I'm Augie, I stay with the run game here.
And why not? So far, Tyler Ravelli has had a night. Over 130 yards on 10 carries. Of course, that big run in the first half got him most of those yards. Here's the pass to the outside, and the Thunder defense saying, that's enough. And as Ravelli made the grab, but you had Johnny Eller who came in on that tackle.
Clay Campbell also coming up and getting in on it. The 6', 188-pound senior out of Franklin, Tennessee. Comes up, helps on that tackle. Nice job in support there to just actually lose a yard.
So it is officially a loss of 1. 2nd down and 11. Empty out the backfield. Nate Henry to the bottom of your screen.
Thunder playing zone.
Mike DeJoy, by the way, in the backfield alongside Barwash. Looking to throw. Cole Barwash. Pass is going to be caught. Yards after the grab. And all the way down to the 36-yard line. It is Bobby and Sarah once again.
Be 3rd down and about 3. Nice little possession route. You just run hooks across the board. Just everybody running about a 7-yard hook route, and the quarterback picks which one has the softest coverage and zips it in there.
By the way, the 3rd catch of the game for Sarah. Vikings only need 3 yards here on 3rd down to keep the drive moving. And once again, the Thunder fans trying to get on their feet. Coaches trying to hype up the crowd and their defense to get a stop.
Wilson on Vesey at the top. Bringing pressure.
They will bring it. Barwash fires pass low and incomplete. It was intended for Nate Henry, not able to come up with that low grab though, and now brings up 4th down.
Hey, you got a punt here back in your own territory. Nice job by the Thunder, although it looks like Steve Bell's talking about it. And he's going to send out the punt team. Great job by the Thunder to get off the field on after a turnover. First turnover of the season for the Thunder when they had Bonga for the big play, and he just dropped the ball after running a few steps. But Thunder going to get it back. They were on the move. Defense steps in, gives up a couple first downs, but then gets a stop.
Cordenhoven back deep to receive. High snap. Able to get it off though, so they are able to escape as that punt will be downed all the way down inside the 40, probably at the 34-yard line.
And marked it at the 32. Thunder got to get something going here now. They got to come back out and just establish themselves in this game.
And Doug, we were talking at halftime about this potentially being a trap game for Wheaton. They play the #1 ranked team, national champions North Central, next week on homecoming. And so far the Thunder have not really played like they're supposed to be playing.
Well, you got to credit Augie too. Augie's got a great team. You know, people underestimate them. When you get 20 seniors back or 20 starters back, that's a lot of talent they bring back on this team.
First down and 10. Here is Thorson with time over the middle. Pass though is going to be incomplete for Ben Juska as he sails it wide. Meanwhile, a flag at the end of the play.
I don't know, it came from the back, Judd, right?
Yep. It was where the pass was intended for Juska.
I mean, if they call interference. I'm not sure I'd agree with that. That's be a bum rap for Augie, but that looks like what they're talking. That's kind of where that's going to come into play. I mean, Juska kind of went down as if there was something going on, but that guy's in a position to see it. If he grabbed him and you just don't really see it, sometimes there's a lot of that tugging going on. If that's happening when the ball's in the air, that's the official who's going to see that. We didn't really see it from here, and we haven't seen the replay, but they're talking about it. Maybe they're going to – sometimes they pick it up and say there is no flag, and they just wave it off. Sometimes they enforce it. He's giving them the numbers, so it looks like they're going to enforce it.
Pass interference, defense, number 33, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Dakota Strait called for the penalty, the junior out of Frankfort, Illinois. So a little bit ticky-tacky, wishy-washy, but it'll keep the drive moving for Wheaton.
And again, Wheaton's kind of calling card has been time of possession this year. You know, they've done a great job of holding the ball and moving the ball down the field. And much as this is a decision by the official, it certainly counts towards that. It keeps them going, moves the sticks, and they get more plays here. So, you know, you're talking about 4:34 to go in the third quarter. Thunder moving the ball, trying to cross midfield here. They go down and get points, put a little more pressure on this Augie team.
Giovanni Weeks in the backfield for the Thunder. And they will give it to Weeks. Trying to plow his way forward, and it looks like he's going to be stopped near the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of 1 or 2.
Hadn't been much in the running game, but you can't give up on the running game. The running game, especially when you have a physical line like the Thunder have, you know, you start to wear guys down as you get late in the game. So you got to stay with the running game. The Thunder are good on the ground. Now Augie's been their match today on the line of scrimmage, and they've done a good job up front, but you got to stay with it.
So now 2nd down and 8 from the 49. Here's Thorson now, the going to throw. Thorson trying to step up in the pocket. He's going to dial up the deep ball for Kortenhoven, but he overthrows him. It's going to be incomplete.
Had him again. He had inside leverage on the corner on Oregon there, and he just kind of put a little too much zip on it. You got the wind at his back. Again, you tend to overthrow receivers when the wind's at your back and underthrow when it's in your face. He put a little too much mustard on that one. But Kortenhoven had inside leverage on him, and you got to try to put that in a position where your receiver can get to it.
Thorson has been trying those deep balls a couple of times in this game, but so far has not really been able to hook up on them.
Big 3rd down here.
3rd down and 8 from the 49.
They've worked this kind of weak side combo coverage with the running back receiver. See what they do here.
Augustana drops out of the blitz. Here is Thorson, fires, and the pass is going to be incomplete.
That looked like he got there a little early that time.
It's Jack Harrington, the intended receiver. No flag on the play, though. And so, now punt.
Yeah, they're trying to run that kind of possession curl route, just like they did. I thought they were going to run that same play down into the boundary where they run kind of Weeks out into the flat and the wide receiver curls back in, but they did that out to the field. It was there. You just got to, you got to come down with that catch.
So here comes the punt now. By Mateo Jesh. Able to send it away back deep to receive. It is Bobby and Sarah who will take it. Did not call for the fair catch, and he's going to be dragged down at the 15-yard line.
Great job by those two guys. You got that was Clay Campbell running down there, along with is that Jaden Pankow, backup tight end? I thought it was number 40 who made the tackle, or is
that would be Braden Hoochkin, I believe, who made the tackle.
Yeah. So great job.
Now the Vikings on for their next drive.
Thunder defense going to have to rise up to the challenge again. Again, Augie's got to stick to the running game if I'm them. They've been very successful here.
Only score of this quarter came from Augustana's opening drive in the 3rd quarter. We have Ian Gorkin in motion. And here is Barwash looking to throw, lobs it downfield, and the pass is going to be incomplete. It's going in the direction of Jake Miller.
Yeah, they were trying to get the tight end on a crossing route off the play action back to the weak side, but the Thunder had it sniffed out, and he just had to throw it away. Good decision by Cole Bardwaj to just live to play another day. 2nd and 10. Thunder defense doing a good job here. C.J. Nightingale not dialing up a ton of pressure against these guys. He's trying to make these guys drive the length of the field on them.
Got now 2nd and 10 from the 16-yard line. Here's Barwash looking left, pass near side, it's going to be caught. It's VC again, tackled, made by Johnny Eller.
Similar throw what we see from the Wheaton team again from the far hash, throwing it out to the numbers up to the field. They like him being able to get out there just outside the numbers to VC, who's been targeted quite a bit here, and he picks up enough yards to get him to 3rd and short here.
3rd and 3 now for the Vikings. Crowd trying to get on their feet. Their defense another stop. VC to the bottom of your screen.
They might run this everybody hook route that they ran earlier on 3rd down.
Here is Barwash, going to dial up the deep ball on the pass, overthrown and incomplete.
That's surprising.
Yeah, interesting play to just go on a vertical route instead of taking a 3-yard gain, or a 3-yard route. Instead, they try to go deep.
Yeah, and the Thunder's defensive philosophy again, they're trying to make you string together plays and just count on you being a little greedy or not taking what that defense is giving you. They're giving you a little, 3 hook routes to the field right there. Throw it to just like you did on the last 3rd down, or on the last possession on 3rd down, and you can get that 1st down and keep the drive alive. And they wanted to try to take the whole thing right there against man coverage against the best cover corner that the Thunder have in Max Wilson.
It's going to be Shorin Chem who sends it back to the Thunder. Kortenhoven back deep to receive for Wheaton. And Wheaton trying to get out of the air. Oh, might have touched a Thunder, and the Vikings able to land on it.
He's not listening. That's Augie's ball. 2nd turnover.
It touched a Wheaton player. That means the ball is live. And if the Vikings did recover, that's going to be their ball at around the 40. Wow, another miscue by the Thunder.
I think that's Davis Reeves, a junior wide receiver that's down there trying to block. And the deep guy, Kortenhoven, his job is to yell to those guys when it's short. They yell either poison something, or Peter, which is short for poison. And everybody's supposed to run to the sidelines out of bounds.
Well, it looks like the Thunder had the ball.
No, they gave it to him.
So Wheaton able to recover.
Wow.
So it's not Vikings ball. Interesting there. As the pass to the outside going to be caught by Kortenhoven. Thought it was, looking at the replay, the Vikings had it. It might have touched a Wheaton player, but nope, they will say it is still Wheaton ball.
Yeah, they either ruled it didn't touch him, or Wheaton somehow came up away with the possession. Nice protection there again, quick throw. Again, you don't want to give up on the running game here. 2nd down.
So gain of 9 on 1st down to Kortenhoven. It's been huge out of the passing game, already over 100 yards receiving. 2nd down and 1. They'll give it to Christian Karstens, the backup back. And Karstens trying to get to the outside, and he will get the 1st down for the Thunder.
Yeah, it's been tough going up the middle. Now they try to go wide, and they get something there, get the 1st down, and then some. Nice blocking on the perimeter. Thunder wide receivers do a really nice job on the perimeter here. Titherington right there tying up the defensive back to give Karstens a chance to get to the sticks.
So fresh set of downs now at the 45-yard line of Augie. Kortenhoven in motion, and they'll hand it off. It's going to be Christian Karstens, but he's going to be wrapped up in the backfield. Yep, Chase Tatum.
Yeah, you're not blocking Tatum. Tatum just took over. He defeated the block of Juska, really out-physicaled him at the point of attack, just lowered the shoulder and then got in there. Nice job. Juska's got to be more physical than that.
2nd down and 11 after that loss of 1 as the 3rd quarter winding down. Game tie 20 apiece. Again, the only score coming from the Vikings on their opening drive.
2nd and 11.
Around the 46-yard line. Here's Thorson looking to throw, fires, passes, caught.
Great
wide
throw.
Open on the play. It's Seth Kortenhoven down the sidelines and finally brought down inside the red zone.
Great throw. When you see the replay, he throws the ball before, when the receiver's back is to him, he throws this ball on time. You just watch Kortenhoven, see what he plants his feet. Great footwork, great throw, turns around. The DB is still trying to get deep and plant, and just ton of cushion, which allows a guy like Kortenhoven to make a play after the catch. It looks like he's wide open, but that's really done by great timing between quarterback and receiver.
So from the 46 to the 11, gain of 35 yards. And now puts him inside the red zone. 10-second difference between play clock and game clock. Here is Thorson, throws over the middle, and the pass is caught. The end zone is the question.
Going to be at the 1.
And they will mark him down short.
Big hit, and he
of
hung
the
on to
goal line.
that. Great job there by Bonga. Now they're going to try to go quick.
Vikings trying to
Snap it.
substitute, by the way. Thorson under center. This is where you typically see quarterback sneak. He will sneak it into the end zone.
He fumbled it. But they call a touchdown.
They do call a touchdown on the far side.
He reached it over, broke the plane, but the Augie players knocked the ball out of his hands, and they recovered it, and the ref is going to go ahead and signal touchdown, which he's in a position to do that. If that ball breaks the plane, it doesn't matter. As soon as it breaks the plane, it's a touchdown. It doesn't matter if the Augie player subsequently knocks it out of his hands and they recover it. That ball has to be coming loose before it crosses the end zone, and the ref's in a perfect position to make that call. So great job by the Thunder of a couple great plays to get him down there.
A huge drive before the end of the third quarter as Mateo Jesh is on to attempt the extra point. And it is good. So the Thunder slugging through the third quarter, but until that big pass play into the red zone, and then finally able to punch it in from a 1-yard touchdown to Ben Thorson.
Yeah, the Augie players did not like it, but that was clearly a touchdown. He jumped over, broke the plane, and the official made the appropriate call there. So Thunder, great drive to go down and take the lead. Tough game. Again, that Thunder defense is going to have to step up. They've done a nice job the last couple drives after giving up an opening touchdown. And the first drive of the second half, the Augie took the ball and drove the length of the field on running the ball. Now Augie has relied a little bit more on the pass game, which hasn't been as effective for them. They've gotten a few plays, but they really in the third quarter, it seemed to me, after that first drive, got away from running the ball a little bit and weren't as successful. Thunder been able to get off the field a few times, and now the Thunder putting together a drive there to take the lead. Now again, this game is going to turn early in this fourth quarter. There's 5 seconds to go here, so this kickoff, depending if it's fielded or not, there might still be one play left in the third quarter, but it's going to turn on whether the Thunder can get off the field again or Augie can put together a drive. And I just think Augie's got to stick with that ground game that's been working for him.
Back deep to receive, but going into the end zone, no chance for Bobby Insera. So 5 seconds left until the end of the third quarter. Vikings trailing it by a touchdown. But so far, you have to be impressed. Playing 3 quarters or playing against the 10th ranked team, or depending on how you look at it, the 8th ranked team, according to the coaches poll. If you're a Vikings fan, you have to be impressed. You're taking the Thunder all the way to the fourth quarter.
With all due respect to the coaches, I don't necessarily regard the coaches poll as nearly as accurate as the D3.com poll. I think the D3.com pollsters spend a significant amount more time studying these teams and have a lot more information than the coaches, who often go off of reputation and otherwise. So I'd put a lot more credence in the D3 poll.
And they'll hand it off and breaking free, and look at this run to end the third quarter. A huge play. It is
Ravelli.
Yep, Tyler Ravelli, who takes it again, the leading rusher regardless of player. And that will bring us to the end of the third quarter.
Another great run there. Again, they clog it up the middle there. Just a lot of buys. They just don't bring him down. McClung has a chance, doesn't get him. He gets to the second level, and these Augie running backs have done a great job. And their offensive line has been outstanding. This offensive line for Augie has been physical. They've got 3 fifth-year seniors on here, another senior who's all-conference, and a junior, all returning starters. So you got, starting from the right tackle, all-conference Kane Johnson, 6'4", 300-pound senior out of Galesburg High School. Their right guard, Brain McDonald, out of DeKalb. He's a graduate, or fifth-year graduate student, 6'3", 285. And then you got the center, Jacob Ullman, who's doing a great job, 6'2", 275 out of Geneva. Close to here, the Chicago area. Daniel Skold is the guard, the left guard, fifth-year senior, 6'3", 250, and the tackles Jacob North, 6'4", 285, out of Fulton, Illinois, Fulton High School.
Vikings with 172 yards rushing, 153 of those yards from Tyler Ravelli, who also has 2 rushing touchdowns. He's had himself an excellent performance for the Vikings. Start of the fourth quarter, 27-20, Thunder lead it. Barwash on the RPO pass is going to be caught, and it's Jordan Vesey trying to make a move, still on his feet, and refusing to go down before finally being brought down at the 45-yard line. Tackle made by Jalen Ferlita.
Yeah, so Augie with 22 carries for 172 yards. Ravelli 13 for 153. DeGoya is got 6 carries for 25 yards, and that's been leading the way. Bardwaj is 13 of 26, 50% of his passes, 117 yards.
After a gain of 6, second down and 4, and the Vikings 45-yard line. And they'll hand it off this time. It is Ravelli. What a night he's had getting into Wheaton territory. It has to be gang tackled at the 49-yard line.
Yeah, they're averaging 7.8 yards per carry this Augustana run game, and that's just what Steve Bella's got to just lean on down the stretch for Augie. That's what they got to get to. They keep trying to throw the ball, and Bardwaj just for whatever reason isn't having a great night. I don't know if he's dinged up a little bit. I didn't see him do a ton of warm-ups before the game. He's just around 50% on his passes, but this offensive line has been controlling the line of scrimmage.
For Tyler Ravelli, entered this game with 184 yards, and Ari now has 159. And they'll stay on the ground game. It is Ravelli taking defenders with him and finally dragged out of bounds.
Physical run, corner, and lowers his shoulder and carries 2 guys and picks up 7 yards.
And he's not afraid to make the dirty plays.
Thunder on the flip side through 3 quarters, 63 plays, 406 yards, 25 rushes for 101 yards. Not as effective in the ground game. Ben Thorson, 24 of 37 for 295. He was sacked once. Giovanni Weeks, 15 carries, 71 yards, a 4.7 yard per average.
Nate Henry to the bottom of your screen, paired up against the corner Riley Schwartz. Second down and 3 from the 42. Here is Bardwaj, feels some pressure, flushed out to his right, on the move. It's going to be caught and breaking the tackle and still going. It's Tyler Ravelli, and once again, finally dragged out of bounds at the 26-yard line.
Coach, that drives coaches nuts right there. You've got the guy stopped. He's still going to get the first down, just the yardage he had. That's Ravelli just coming out. The play's broken. Bardwaj buys some time with his feet. He throws it, and in fact, it would have been tackled behind the line for, it would have been a
for the pass, hold, White 66,
holding.
Offense.
Yeah, but that missed tackle could have been huge, very costly right there. You had him tackled before the first down. Instead, you give up the big play. Fortunately, they get the hold. Fortunately for Thunder fans, they get the hold. Unfortunately for Augie fans, pushes them back. So this limits Augie a little bit more because it puts them behind the sticks here.
So now it's second down and 13. Backed up at their own 48-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, as well as they're running the ball, you've got second down here. You're running at 7 yards a clip. I would not be afraid to run it here and bring up 3rd and 5. Run it 3 times, 2-3 times. You can get the first down
territory here.
Maybe.
So it is second down and 12, and this time it's Mike DeGioia who takes the carry. And look at this, Mike DeGioia, first down, still going. Finally brought down to the 30-yard line. This rushing attack for the Vikings has been absolutely lethal.
Yeah, this offensive line is just swallowing up this defensive front here. They got a twist on. That's just unlucky. McClung is lined up on line of scrimmage. He twists up the middle and just vacates the area. He had the perfect play on for the stunt that the Thunder were running.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Meanwhile, we have an injured player out on the field trying to see who that is.
More third quarter stats for the Thunder receiving. Ben Bonga has 11 catches for 115 yards. Seth Kortenhoven has 9 for 143. Ben Juska has 3 catches for 32 yards. Caleb Titherington has 1 for 13. We mentioned the rushing stats. Defensively, Hagler is the leading tackler with 8 hits. That's Hagler coming out.
Yep, Lawson Hagler.
Very unfortunate. He came back from a surgically repaired knee that he suffered in the Trinity game, the first game of last year. And I don't know if that's the same knee where he's limping there, but it's super unfortunate for the Thunder because he's such a versatile player for them on defense.
And Coach Nightingale talked about his leadership and the big plays that he's been able to provide, and now he's limping on the sideline. Hope that he is all right.
The Thunder have held Augie to 1 for 10 on third down. So if they can just get him into that situation, it'd be great. They just haven't been able to stop the run.
Mike DeGioia in the backfield. Here is Bardwaj looking for the end zone, and the pass is going to be incomplete.
Again, Augie they fall in love with taking the shot, and there's no reason to do that. The Thunder have shown a complete inability to stop the run. And they're trying to get up the Thunder. The Thunder have been very disciplined, not giving up big plays. And they're trying to run the fake wide receiver screen and run the guy down the rail. And Bardwaj has not been accurate with those throws, and they didn't bite on it.
And if you're the Thunder defense, knowing that you have not been able to stop the run, would you consider perhaps just loading the box, maybe playing a little bit more cover one defense?
Maybe, but that's just not who they are.
And they'll hand it off. It is DeGioia on the carry. Look at this. Mike DeGioia, a huge play, taking it all the way down inside the 15. So no matter who's the running back, whether it's DeGioia or Rivera or Ben Ludlam, the Vikings have been able to carve off huge
Well, it's the same
gains.
play over and over and over again. They're running this counter tray. They block everybody down. They pull the backside guard, and they run the tight end on a lead. And they haven't been able to stop it. When the running back gets to the next level without being touched, your line's getting swallowed up.
DeGioia got nothing there on that first down carry. So it's now 2nd down and 10 from the 14-yard line. As now the Vikings 222 yards of rushing offense has just dominated this game. And only trailing by a touchdown here in the red zone. Second down and 10 from the 14 now. Here's Bardwaj operating out of the shotgun. And they'll give it to DeGioia. Mike DeGioia, what a cut! He's in for the touchdown.
Same play. That's it. They've run, I'd say, 150 to 175 of their yards are off the exact same play.
First rushing touchdown for Mike DeGioia in this game.
And the Thunder don't have an answer. And part of it is on the front side here. And if we see the replay, the player who the defensive end who the guard is blocking has to come underneath the guard's block and force that thing outside so the defense can chase it. But the bottom line is you're just getting manhandled by the offensive line of Augustana. Veteran offensive line has done a phenomenal job. And this is not a bad defensive front for the Thunder. They got good linebackers. They got athletic ends. They got stout defensive tackles. But the credit Augustana here. They've done a great job. They came in this season with a commitment to rushing the ball, and they've certainly been able to do it this whole year. They come in averaging 200 yards a game rushing, and they just tie the game up here with a methodical drive down the field. And now the Thunder are going to have to respond. You got a four-quarter game. You're in the fourth quarter. You got just under 12 minutes to go, and the Thunder going back into the win. They're going to have to get the ball and answer right here.
By the way, there is a flag at the end of that play. Referee's discussing what it is. And for DeGioia, by the way, his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season, contributing to that deadly rushing attack.
On the play after, we have roughing the kicker on the defense. 15 yards will be passed on the kickoff.
This basically ensures it's going to be a touchback.
And I think that was interesting. They actually took.
Although it does bring into the potential here with that 15 yards that they could run an onside kick. So you got to be very careful because there's not a lot of downside now. You go from kicking it on the 35 to kicking from midfield. So 10 yards. If you don't get the onside kick, it's going to be around the 40. So the Thunder have to be very aware of the fact that this could be an onside kick right here.
And also interesting decision for Coach Bell. If he actually took that, they could have tried it for a 2-point conversion at the 1-yard line and perhaps taken the lead, but opting to be conservative and just take the extra point. As this kick, because of the penalty, will be taken at midfield.
The Thunder have their normal kick return spacing right here. I probably would have maybe put my hands team in, given the fact that, I could probably kick it through the end zone with this win from here.
And they'll just kick it deep, and this will go into the end zone. No chance at a return for Caleb Titherington. And now bring on this Thunder offense, knotted up 27 apiece. Just a great night of football here in the CCIW. And Augustana giving Wheaton a run for their money despite being 10th in the country, 8th in the coaches poll. They're not letting down.
Certainly not.
Now, Ben Thorson coming back. He operates at his own 25-yard line.
Big drive for the Thunder here to be able to respond.
Giovanni Weeks in the backfield, and they will feed it to Weeks. And that running game finally starting to get going. Not that much running for Weeks, as he had a big game the last time.
Nice 10-yard gain there, though. That's what you like to see. And Now you just don't know if there's people are starting to wear down a little bit, so you kind of want to stay committed to that, or if that was just a breakdown. But Thunder have not had nearly as much room in the running game as Augie has had.
And now give Weeks 71 yards on 16 carries. Again, those 3 rushing touchdowns all in the first half. First down and 10 from the 35-yard line. And again, they'll stay on the ground game with Weeks. And he's going to be brought down at about the 37-yard line.
Give him a gain of 3 there. A little more clogged up. You know, those play action longer passes here, something you want to come back to. Maybe the play action slant, the one where Bonga fumbled, that's a play you could easily come back to here. You can also, it's a little easier to throw the longer pass, ironically, into the wind.
Yeah, trips to the top of your screen, far side. 2nd and 7 now from the 38. Here is Thorson. Looking to throw. Pass is going to be nearly intercepted. Went in and out of the hands of Ben Bonga, and it was almost picked off.
3rd time they've run this route. Weeks out of the backfield. Just a curl route to Bonga. They've completed it twice, and I don't know what happened there, but there's just in and out of the hands of Bonga. He kind of got his hands flipped around. You kind of want to keep your hands out in front of you and just move them over and catch it. With your hands the other way. He tried to catch it with his, and it's just harder to catch it the way he tried to there.
Nick Harper, the super senior, almost came up with that interception off the ricochet. So it's now 3rd and 7 from the 38. Here is Thorson with time. Fires, and the pass is caught. First down into Augustana territory and brought down at the 44-yard line. It's Seth Kortenhoven.
Same route concept back to the field there. Simple throw and catch. It's been open all day. They do a nice job. They run 3 receivers. The widest receiver is pretty wide. They clear one out, they run one to the flat, and then they just curl in behind it. Really tough to keep your depth as a linebacker or the safety there and get underneath that route. Is wide open. Thorson's done a great job this whole game throwing
10th
that.
catch for Seth Kortenhoven. Bonga has 11, 2 receivers over 100 yards, and now they'll carry it. It is Christian Carson's, brought down at about the 43-yard line.
Nick Harper on the chase there. Not before he gets 4 yards. They get a little more room out there when they just try to seal that edge and make the DB come run from the hash. You know, they like to get the running back on his horse and get out there, and makes it tougher. Gained about 4.5 yards there. Big drive for the Thunder, ticking around 10 minutes to go here in the game, in a tie game.
By the way, Timothy Financial Council is proud to support Wheaton College Athletics. Their offices in Wheaton and Chicago have financial planners who are very invested in the Wheaton community and want to help clients plan for the future. Interested in learning more about how our financial planning can help you? Check out their website at timothyfinancial.com. So you got 2nd down and 6. What do you think Coach Scott is telling his offense?
Well, you're in an area now where you can certainly run the ball and think about 4-down territory. Although with a tie game at this point, it's a little more dicey. But, yeah, you're going to be not afraid to open the whole playbook here.
By the way, Kortenhoven, 10 catches, $162 in this game. Run pass option, far side pass is caught and still going and out of bounds. I believe that is Caleb Tidlerington who had the reception.
Did a nice job of keeping his hand down to avoid from going down. You see him catch it. The DB goes low, and he puts his hand down to keep from touching his knee here, which allows him to get another 3-4 extra yards. Right there, he turns it up. DB goes low, keeps his hand down, stays on his feet. He's able to tiptoe there, bring up a 3rd and short.
By the way, that was the 41st pass attempt for Thorson. He's now 26 of 41 throwing the ball.
Two tight end look. Vodacek is on the left defensive end. Juska is lined up just behind the left guard here.
3rd down and 1. Weeks in the backfield alongside Thorson. And they will give it to Giovanni Weeks, who has the first down. A huge run and still going. Dragging defenders with him, and he's going to be brought down at about the 26.
Swaney took a gamble there. He ran downhill through the A gap, and Weeks just a little quick. You see him right there. He comes through. Paul Fay gets enough of him that allows Giovanni to get into the hole, and he does a nice job shuffling his feet and gets downhill to get the first down.
So now moving at the 28-yard line.
Good job by Paul Fay there. Really hard to do that. When that linebacker hits that hole so aggressively, you have to pop your eyes on him. He got just enough up and get the first.
The 28-yard line, clock dipping under 9 minutes. Tied ball game, 27 apiece here in CCIW action. Here is Thorson looking to throw for the end zone pass. It's going to be caught. Touchdown.
Yeah, a little easier to throw the ball deep going that way into the wind. Bonga does a nice job there running out. He starts on the outside. They run a little quick motion to get him inside to get a little better matchup. He's on that safety, and he makes a little move and beats him to the outside. And that safety's playing catch up, and Thorson put a nice ball on him.
And talk about redemption for Ben Bonga after fumbling in the third quarter. Comes up with a huge grab with his first touchdown of this game, his second of the season. And now 12 catches, $143 for Bonga, and the extra point.
Very important
Mateo
extra point.
Kick on the way, and it is good. So the Thunder retake the lead 34-27 with 8:49 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Big drive there for the Thunder, taking it down the field and getting the points that they needed to get in the fourth quarter here. Now you put the pressure back on Augie. Augie's still got the full complement of the run game, though. And the Thunder have shown no ability to stop them on the ground yet so far. So, we're going to have to see what the Thunder can do defensively, if there's any adjustments they can make or run calls that they can make where they do some run stunts or run blitzes. But they haven't been able to stop this Augie running game. And if I'm Augie, that's what you want to do. You want to just drive the ball down here and tie it up.
A touchdown pass to Bonga caps off an 8-play, 75-yard drive. Only took 3 minutes and 4 seconds off that game clock. But now it's Cole Barwash and this rushing offense of Tyler Ravelli gets a crack at it. Still plenty of time, all 3 timeouts with 8:49 to go. You don't have to be in a rush if you're the Vikings.
If you're an Augie fan, there's no surprise that this is a close game. People around the nation may be looking and saying, wow, what's wrong with Wheaton? I'll tell you what, this is a good Augustana football team with 20 returning starters and 10 super seniors on this team that have a lot of 3-year starters and all-conference players that are playing. Big physical up front on both sides, and they've done a nice job here tonight matching the Thunder toe for toe.
And here's Braden Smith on the return, but he's going to be dropped at the 16-yard line. Virgil Cannon fired up, and the Thunder love it.
It's what Virgil can do. He's an explosive, athletic player. And, he played a lot last year after the injury to Hagler. And, this year he hasn't gotten as much time at linebacker. But, man, he is an explosive player. He makes explosive plays. He can close quickly. He's very athletic. He's an aggressive tackler. And on special teams, he just showed it right there.
Now first down and 10 from the 17 after that big play made on special teams. We have Tyler Ravelli in the game, leading rusher, and they will feed it with him, and Ravelli plows ahead to about the 20-yard line.
Yeah, Thunder will take that result. That time you just had straight man-to-man blocking across the front. Double down there, double the tackle and chip off on the linebacker.
Augustana, after this game, they'll be home at Carroll and then Milliken, so 2-game homestand. As we know, the Thunder, they'll be playing North Central next week on homecoming for the battle for the Little Brass Bell. Second down and 7 from the 20. Here is Barwash going to take off, and Cole Barwash using the wheels as he takes it right up to the 24-yard line.
Neither one of these quarterbacks are incredibly mobile. Ben Thorson doing a nice job with his feet, a couple carries today, but Barwash not able to do much there. Not incredibly fast, but smart decision. He's just trying to get what he can get. Didn't like what he saw. Brings up a big third down and short here.
Third down and 3. Augustana 1 of 9 on third downs. You got the Wheaton offense standing on the sideline. Crowd trying to get hyped up, as well as Riken's Rowdies. From the 24-yard line, Barwash out of the shotgun. Looking to throw. Cole Barwash had a crosser wide open, goes far side, and it's incomplete.
Great play.
Nate Henry was wide open.
Tyler Ravelli absolutely tackles right here Eller in the hole. Look at that. He absolutely puts both hands around his waist and tackles him, and there's no call, which you don't expect, but Max Wilson makes a great play down there. Forces the punt. Huge stop by this Thunder defense. Good job. They like to bring pressure in those situations, make the offense make a play. DJ Nightingale dials it up, and Max Wilson pays off for him. Great play.
Jordan Vesey was the intended receiver, but if you look at that replay, Jake Miller was wide open on a crosser. He would have picked up the first down with ease. Instead, they have to punt with Clem to send it away. Back deep to receive It's going to be Seth Kornhoven who takes it, and there goes Kornhoven with some space. Seth Kornhoven still on his feet into Augustana Torrey, inside the 40, still going, finally brought down to the 36-yard line. Wheaton is fired up after that last play.
That's what that kid can do. He's a great player with the ball in his hands. We've seen that so far this season. That's what they've said all during the preseason. They love this guy. That's why he's back there returning these kicks. This is what he can do. Great explosion up the field, vision. You can see him turn and cut that thing back. Breaks those 2 tackles. Big play for the Thunder now.
$162 on 10 catches so far tonight for Kornhoven, and now making a big play on special teams. And has the Thunder at the Vikings 36-yard line. And they'll hand it off. Giovanni Weeks trying to bounce it to the outside. Now trying to go back inside, but the Vikings are there to snuff that one out.
Yeah, they're going to be stacking the line. They don't want Gio to beat them here. They're going to make the Thunder beat them another way here. Gio doing a big dance just to get a yard. It's a lot of running to do just for 1 yard, but he does a good job.
So after a gain of only 1, 2nd down and 9. As you have Jack Harrington coming into the game.
Bring both tight ends out, so you're going to go with 4 wide receivers in the game right here, along with Gio Weeks.
So now operating out of the shotgun, 6:30 by the way left to go. Thunder leading by a touchdown. Last thing you want to do is turn the ball over and give the Vikings some new life. Play clock at 3. And they're able to just get it off in time. Here is Thorson checking it down underneath to Giovanni Weeks. A stiff arm and finally brought out of bounds by Rondé Whirls.
Yeah, I didn't like what he had. Again, Ben just making a great decision there. Take what the defense gives you. Throw it to Weeks. Let him take his chances with this one-on-one here. And nice job by the Augie player. That's Whirls doing a great open field tackle on Weeks, which is tough to do. Lets him get a couple yards, but it brings up 3rd and 5. Big down right here.
Yep, 3rd down and 5. Clock under 6 minutes left to go.
The Thunder are 55% coming into this game on 3rd down, which is 14th in the country.
And they're 7 of 13 tonight. So slightly above 50%. Play clock once again running down to 6. Vikings would love to get a stop and get their offense another crack at it. Here is Thorson. Feels the pressure, able to escape. Thorson out to his right, on the move, and the pass is caught. Giovanni Weeks somehow pulls a rabbit out of his hat and scores. Touchdown, Wheaton.
Wow, that's Ben Thorson right there. Just a great play by him with his feet. He's got tremendous footwork as a quarterback. He's not incredibly mobile. He's made a couple plays with his feet, but that was with his feet. He bought time. He was going to scramble. You know, Weeks just goes out of there at the beginning to try to widen the defense and open up what he wants over the middle, and they forget about it. And then what happens is when he starts to run, you can see the linebacker come up, and Gio just takes off, and Ben sees him, keeps his vision down the field, and gives it to Giovanni, and he does the rest. No one's going to catch Giovanni down the rail. Huge play in this game.
4th touchdown for Giovanni Weeks. 3 rushing, 1 receiving. A huge play made. Extra point is good. They'll now give Giovanni Weeks 51 total touchdowns in his career.
Big touchdown for the Thunder now. 5:27 to go. They get a 2-touchdown lead. And what this does is effectively makes it limit the Augie rushing game, which, you know, now you just can't really afford to run it as much because the clock becomes a factor. So now you got to put the ball in the hands of
Cole Bardwaj.
Cole Bardwaj. And the strength of this Thunder team is really the pass coverage. The DBs are the most experienced group on the field here. And the guys up front, you know, Peter Johannick, tougher for him to fight these big bodies, but he can get after the passer, as can Isaac Parrish. So big advantage for Thunder here now, and a lot of pressure on this Augie team.
It's all about going to your playmakers if you're the Thunder. Just find Giovanni Weeks. He'll score.
Now, that said, Augie's got some very capable receivers. VC's made a ton of plays today. We have Bobby and Sarah, who's their leading receiver coming into this game. Well, not necessarily this game, but certainly from last year. Nate Henry, big receiver, who's made a big play. He had a long 70-something yard touchdown catch against Simpson the first game of the year. So they got plenty of skill guys that can get it done here. And Cole Bardwaj is a capable quarterback. He gets the ball out quickly.
But so far, 14 of 28, 50% of his passes have been completed. And now, likely going to be running the 4-minute offense. As you said, down 2 scores. Don't really have time to be running the football. We'll see.
Need coverage here.
Yep. So now here is the return. Braden Smith going to be game tackle at the 27-yard line.
Okay.
So now the Augie offense coming out onto the field. Down 14, 5:20 left to go. Still have all 3 timeouts, but got to operate with some urgency here.
Yeah, we'll see if they do a little bit of a hurry up, but they definitely want to operate with a little more urgency, given the fact they have to have 2 scores. And so if they can score quickly, they do have both teams have all 3 timeouts. If they can score quickly and then get a stop for the Thunder and try to get the ball back, or do an onside kick, depending how quickly they can score. And if they can score 5 wideouts here, so running game is not necessarily a factor.
So they do empty out the backfield from the 27-yard line. Here's Barwash looking to throw. Flush pressure. He goes down behind the line of scrimmage. It's going to be, I believe, Jalen Ferlita.
And Bonquisti was the first guy to get him.
A huge sack there. It's only a loss of 1, but not going in the right direction if you're the Vikings.
That's the 2nd sack of the year for Bonquisti. Or if they share it, he and Ferlita.
So now 2nd down and 11 from the 26-yard line.
Now they got Ravelli in the backfield.
Here's Barwash. As time hit as he released and the pass is caught. A huge play all the way up to the 41-yard line, and it is Nate Henry, the sophomore, who comes up with the play.
Nice throw and catch there, just starting out on the wide end of the field. They clear it out on the inside, run a dig route, which is just a big square in underneath Riley Schwartz, who's there, immediately make the play. Good pitch and a catch by those 2.
15-yard gain on 2nd down and 11. Now 4:22 to go. Clock running down, under 20 on the play clock. Here is Barwash, 4-man rush. Barwash trying to escape. He's going to take off, has some green grass, and will wisely slide down into Wheaton territory. Another nice play there, and back-to-back first downs.
Quickly to the ball now, trying to run it. They're getting the call from the sideline and quickly barking it in. Clock running just under 4 minutes here.
So officially rolled at the 49-yard line. So 1st down and 10. Here is Barwash. Throws far side. Pass is caught. Nope, incomplete, excuse me. It's intended for Braden Smith. It's a diving catch attempt. Yep, in and out of the hands.
2 receivers in the same area. It seems like one of them ran a wrong route or something. I don't know which one he's trying to throw it to. I thought he was trying to throw it to the widest guy in the curl route, but clock stops, so they got the whole play clock to get in what they want to get.
Yeah, 2nd down and 10 now. DC to the bottom of your screen.
Thunder with their nickel package in.
Here's Barwash off the play fake, steps up in the pocket, fires, pass is going to be caught. It is Braden Smith, but he is short of the 1st down. Still brings up 3rd down, though.
Yeah, it's going to be 3rd and about 2. And in their nickel package, they run Peter Johannick as a linebacker, and that time he faked like he was coming in. He ran underneath a route as a linebacker. He's usually their hand in the ground defensive end.
Now 3rd and 4 from the 43, less than 3:30 to go here.
4 down territory certainly here.
Yep, for sure. Down 2 scores.
They're going to bring pressure from the short side here. Looks like McClung is going to come from off the Wheaton's sideline.
Barwash has time, dials up the deep ball, pass is incomplete.
Trying to get in Sarah down the seam.
It's intended for Braden Smith. And is that once again another overthrown pass for Cole Barwash?
Yeah, sorry, I thought that was in Sarah running down that seam route, but you're correct.
So now it's 4th down and 4. Thunder, if they can get a stop here, this game will probably be over. Crowd on their feet.
Nightingale likes to bring pressure in these situations. He's got his nickel package in.
Crowd on their feet trying to get loud and get a stop. 4th down and 4 from the 43 essentially is the game. Will Nightingale bring pressure?
No.
They'll drop it and only bring 4. Barwash goes down, a huge sack
Peter
from behind. Peter Johannick says, "Nuh-uh, that's it."
Closes the door there. Big play by the sophomore, which we've talked about him most of the game. He showed up right there when the Thunder needed him to shut the door. His first sack of the year, but not at all his first quarterback hurry or tackle for loss. He's been in the opponent's backfield in every game. We talk about him the whole time. the sophomore out of Wheaton Academy, lives in West Chicago. Great play there to help shut the door for the Thunder.
And the sack could have not come in at a better time, as now the Thunder will take over from their own 47. Just got to think a couple of first downs, and this game is over, down 2 scores.
2 tight ends here.
Giovanni Weeks in the backfield. They will give it to him, looking to bounce it to the outside, and there goes Weeks showing off the burst. And he'll get to nearly about midfield, maybe a gain of 3 there as the clock continues to run. And the Vikings not content on using their timeouts.
Be surprised if Steve Bell doesn't use a timeout after this play.
I mean, I would think they would have to call it right now.
Yeah, it would seem like they would have wanted to run it then, but I'm sure if they stop the Thunder here, that they'll use it here. Well, regardless, I'm guessing we'll see it unless there's an incomplete pass, which I would doubt. The ball's going in the air right now.
Yeah, you want to keep the ball on the ground game so the clock continues to run and make the Vikings call their timeout. 2nd down and 7 from midfield, and they'll hand it off once again. There is Giovanni Weeks, submarine right near the first down sticks.
And he does use his first timeout. There's a 3rd and short now.
Timeout, Augustana.
And they say the best teams, they find ways to win. The Vikings gave the Thunder a run for their money, but a couple of big plays in the 4th quarter, including Thorson rolling to his right, finding Giovanni Weeks, and him scoring really catapulted the Thunder to have a 2-possession lead. But the Vikings give them a lot of credit coming here, going up against the 10th ranked team in the nation, and making them earn it.
So Augie's going to sell out for a run right here, almost certainly, and play man across the board. So it's a matter of just what kind of run the Thunder want to dial up. They could also, they have 2 big receivers out there, guys who they like a lot, Bonga and Kortenhoven. And if they're playing off man, you can just, again, chuck it out there on a little hitch route and let those guys fall across for the first down. But if I'm Augie, I would play bump and run to try to take that away and force them to make a play. But you can see down here at the bottom, they're playing off man on Kortenhoven. I would not at all be afraid to chuck it out to him.
And here is Thorson. The handoff goes inside, and Weeks will plow ahead. That's going to be a first down run.
Yeah, that's going to just about do it. They do have 2 timeouts still.
The Vikings are going to use their 2nd timeout. But a huge first down.
Augustana, that is their 2nd timeout of the 2nd half.
So they can stop it just one more time, and that's not likely going to be enough, needing 2 scores here, down by 14. But, hey, credit Augustana. They came in here with a plan. They executed what they wanted to do, certainly controlled the ball in the line of scrimmage. And if you're Wheaton, as you look at this game and you're going into next week, you're going to get up against North Central, who pounds the rock.
Yep.
They pride themselves on running the football. They're going to see this tape, and they have, without question, to me, the best offensive line in the country. All those guys are back from the national championship team, or all 4 of the 5 at least, and incredible offensive line with Jeske Maples and Thornton, the center. Those guys are all Americans, and they're going to look at this and be salivating at what they see on the tape. Giving up 250 yards rushing to Augustana here. Now, Augie's a good team, and they've run the ball well. But that is a Thunder weakness. They just don't have a ton of size up front, especially at the ends. They got athleticism, and you saw Peter Johannek. He might struggle against those bigger linemen that are pulling on him, but he made the play there at the end.
Augustana, that is their 3rd and final timeout of the 2nd half.
Weeks took it up to the 39-yard line on first down. Going back to what you said, unlike Augustana, North Central, they have Luke Lane, one of the best quarterbacks in the country, alongside one of the best receivers in D'Angelo Hardy. So it's not like... So basically, Luke Lane, he's going to take advantage of these one-on-one coverages, unlike Barwash, who's pretty much inaccurate throwing downfield. And this is an offense, as you said, being able to run the ball and also have a great passing attack.
Lanen's completing 78% of his passes before today. I haven't seen the stats on against Elmhurst, but I'm guessing it's not a lot different. I think their starters only played the first half. But he's not going to miss guys. And they got a guy in D'Angelo Hardy who's getting looks at the next level, who is a great player. So the Thunder are going to have their challenges cut out for them here. Again, their formula has been to keep the ball out of the hands of the other team's offense. They've been able to do that here. And it's going to be a really big challenge next week to see if the Thunder can maintain time of possession advantage, given the defensive front. When you got a guy like Lester, who's a defensive tackle, reigning defensive MVP of the league for North Central, is going to be up front over there coming back. Now, they lose their 2 really good defensive ends from the national championship team, but they got a lot of talent.
False start.
And
32
that's what the Thunder are going to have to
5-yard
do, is
penalty,
think about how can we control the line of scrimmage. Last year,
correction, second down.
the last couple of years, they haven't. They've gotten into a little bit more of a passing contest, for lack of a better way to describe it, against North Central. Last year, they got hurt in the first half, and then Bowers brought them back kind of in the second half. But they didn't have enough defense. And so North Central's going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball 65-70% of the time. And they're better at running the ball than Augie is.
Pass to the outside. It's caught by Jessica. Almost fumbled it, but I believe he was down. Kortenhoven was able to land on it. The Vikings, by the way, cannot stop the clock. They are out of timeouts. Thunder now have 3rd and 10. Likely contemptuous to keep on the ground game or a safe pass.
Well, if I'm Jesse, I probably just let this run all the way down and then use one of your timeouts. Again, as every second you can. Now, I don't know that's going to matter. He's standing next to the official. That may be what he just told him. They probably just told the coaches, hold your water. I'm calling timeout. That's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to use one of the timeouts to just try to bleed the clock, which he does. So the Thunder will have 2 timeouts.
Timeout, Wheaton.
They'll run this
first timeout.
They'll run this play,
half.
likely a running play or some sort of possession passing play. If they get the first down, they'll kneel it out. If not, they'll run it all the way down. You'll get about 7 seconds for a running play, and then you'll be able to run about 35, whatever it is, 40 seconds off before you call timeout again, which will leave somewhere under 30 seconds left, or right around 30 seconds left to go in the game. And they can punt the ball away, or depending on what the result is on the next play, they can go for it on 4th down.
So minute 12 left to go. Thunder all but wrapping this one up, should go to 3-0. They'll be 3-0 for the first time since 2019, as we were talking earlier. That matchup against North Central, #1 ranked team in the country, defending national champions, riding the nation's longest winning streak. They'll be coming to town next week on homecoming. And I was watching the 2021 game when North Central came to Wheaton, and you were on the call as well as Rusty, and I saw the North Central fans. They were pretty passionate. They were literally standing there on the sidelines cheering their team on.
Oh, yeah, it'll be packed.
Oh, yes. Giovanni Weeks dragged by the horse collar. It's going to be a first down.
That's going to end the game. Yeah, the line judge here is going to call a horse collar, and that's going to be the end of the game. They'll kneel on it. So, hey, credit this Augie team. They came in here doing what they needed to do. Again, this is not a surprise to me in that, we went down into Rock Island against this same team, 20 starters returning here, and, had a 7-point lead at half, very similar, and ended up winning by 10. In this game, it looks like it's going to be a 14-point spread.
There is no flag on the play for a horse collar tackle.
Oh, they're going to wave it off. Okay. But this Augie team is talented. They could certainly run the table. I think they play North Central at the end of the season.
Jeff.
They do play North Central at the end of the season. They have Carroll and Milliken the next 2 home games. Then they're at WashU.
Yeah.
Then they play home North Park, and then 2 road games, Illinois Wesleyan, and then Carthage, and then their final game, North Central.
In Rock Island. So, they're going to get North Central at home. That's going to be tough for them, obviously. But, easily, again, the third-place team, the first non-playoff team in the CCIW is going to play in the Culver City Bowl against the same place team from the WEAC, the Wisconsin Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. And so that's something that Augie can certainly fight for. And it's not out of the question
Augustana, that is their second
that they can
timeout
run
in the second
table.
half.
It's going to be against the big games for them are going to certainly going from here going to be against WashU, which is on October 14th. They get them in Rock Island, and then Carroll is who they play next week. Carroll has been an upstart team. They've done a good job today. As we mentioned, they beat at home. They beat Illinois Wesleyan 70-23. Carroll's got a phenomenal offense, very sophisticated. They got a great receiver, one of the best receivers in Austin Eichstadt in the league. The quarterback's a veteran guy. Great offensive football team, and they've done a nice job up there, coming up the ranks in the CCIW. So Augie will have a good challenge. in that game next week. And then they get them in, looks like in Rock Island. And then, the Wash U game on the 14th, as well as North Central to close it out. Those will be the big games for them to try to get into that Culver City Bowl if they really have hopes on that.
4th down and 6, by the way. Offense is out there as they were able to drain the clock all the way to 43 seconds. As Wheaton will be going for it. Just trying to wrap this one up for good.
They're trying to catch him offside. No, they're going to go.
They will just simply hand it off to Giovanni Weeks, and he'll just go down. Waste a little bit of clock. It's going to be a turnover on downs. Augustana going to get the football back, but 37 seconds left. Down 2 scores. Very unlikely they can make a comeback.
We'll see what Augie does here, but they blow it dead, and they're going to bring all their guys back out here.
The last heave pretty much for Cole Barwash. And for Wheaton, just don't want to allow any big plays. Last thing one. Huge play going downfield against you. Here is Barwash stepping up. Thunder playing some good coverage. That pass over the middle, and it's going to be caught. And still going and down the sideline, and finally all the way down to the 18-yard line. But as you said, there's a flag back in the backfield at the Augustana 39-yard line. This may be coming back.
Hold, yeah.
Meanwhile, we also have an injured Augustana player down at the 45.
Legal hands to the face. Defense number 54. That penalty's declined.
Oh.
First down.
Peter Johannick, the one who was called for the penalty. A huge passing play, so hold your horses. This game's not necessarily over yet. Wheaton's going to have to earn this.
Augie's going to want to get some other players to help VC off the field because Insera needs to be in this game, as does Braden Smith.
And it's Jordan VC who's getting helped by his teammates. So now
unfortunate that he's been a great player tonight, VC. Hopefully it's just something minor.
And so far, 5 catches. Team leading 70 yards through the air. And Augustana now at the 18-yard line. Still with
correction. Fans in the face of the personal foul. Half the distance to the goal. There is not a runoff on this play.
That means the ball will be placed inside the red zone.
So now you got shots at the end zone here, whereas if you score, you happen to score, you're going to kick an onside kick, and you actually got a shot here. And
so now from the 10-yard line. On first down and 10. From the 9. Barwash with pressure. Barwash, and somehow able to escape for now. Still on the move, looking for somebody. Now fires back of the end zone, and it is caught for the touchdown.
Wow.
Nolan Hewitt, first grab of the game, and hold your horses.
Touchdown is good. Please set the game clock to 17 seconds. 17 seconds on the game clock.
So you're going to get an onside kick here. You're going to kick the extra point. You're going to get an onside kick. And, Augie basically just scored in, 2-3 plays?
Please reset the game clock to 17 seconds. 1-7.
That penalty helping out because it put the ball half the distance to the goal in just 2 plays. It's a 1-possession game.
Game clock. Please set the clock to 17 seconds. 17 seconds.
Some issues with the play clock. Now finally set at 17 seconds, and so now.
So you're coaching up your hands, team. You're getting all your guys ready. That again, something you work on every week.
City Maroon for the extra point to make it a 7-point game, and it is good. So now the onside kick. You talked about the hands, team. Don't want to be pulling the Falcons and wait for the ball to travel 10 yards when he can easily just pick it up. But meanwhile, look at that play from Cole Barwash, just somehow able to keep the play alive, levitating. And you find Nolan Hewitt for the touchdown, coming in for his 3rd catch of the season and his 2nd touchdown of the season as well.
Great job by Bardwaj there, buying time. They had him dead to rights. They had him sacked, and they weren't able to bring him down, which has kind of been part of the story of this Thunder defense. They've had, allowed a number of guys to break tackles, and Augie's done a great job. Augie's a good football team, and they're showing that tonight. And the Thunder, have some work to do, which they're also showing that tonight, certainly defensively. So your hands team is all here.
So they'll be sending Maroon to try the onside kick.
You got Kortenhoven as the back guy up to the top on the Augie sideline. He's the guy at the second level. So the guys up front are going to try to block and get that big hop, and hopefully gets the ball to him. He's the guy they feel like is their sure-handed guy. Bonga's down here to the bottom in case they spin it and try to come towards the Wheaton sideline.
So here is Maroon to send him once again. Needs to travel 10 yards. And high hop, and it is recovered by Seth Kortenhoven. So no last-minute shenanigans at the end, and the Thunder just a knee down from going to 3-0 on the season.
Really a good job by the front five guys who keep that, those guys that are called bullets on the kicking team to get to that ball. It allowed Kortenhoven to just field that off the big bounce. Big bounce, usually those guys get down there, they can compete for that ball, and that could have been anybody's ball, but they did a good job keeping the Augie coverage guys from getting across
Game clock, please put 15
45
seconds on the clock. We had a possession and out of bounds. 1-5 on the clock.
Always good to be in victory formation, regardless of whatever team you may be. One kneel down, and that will do it. The Thunder had to scratch and claw their way to defeat the Vikings 41-34. Some late drama at the end, but they're able to hang on a huge fourth quarter performance from Giovanni Weeks. As the Thunder go to 3-0, the Vikings drop to 2-1 on the season.
Weeks finishes with 109 yards net, 25 carries for 109 yards, 4.4 yards per carry, had 3 touchdowns. Really great job by him tonight. And then Thorson finishes 30 of 44, no interceptions, 385 yards, 2 touchdowns. He completed 68% of his passes. Again, just a great performance again from Ben Thorson, using his feet for a couple big games, and also one for a big touchdown to Giovanni Weeks, who also had a receiving touchdown. So Giovanni Weeks, 4 of the touchdowns that the Thunder scored were because of him. So a great job by the Thunder. Thunder overall, 82 plays for 537 yards, including 142 on the ground with 37 carries, and then in the air, as I mentioned, 30 of 44 for 385 for the Thunder. Ben Bonga, 12 catches, 143 yards. Kortenhoven, 10 catches, 162 yards. Ben Juska, 4 catches for 35 yards. On the defensive side, Lawson Hagler, 8 hits. Isaac Parrish was 7. Clay Campbell was 6. Max Smith with 6. For Augustana, 68 plays, 446 yards, 33 rushes for 248. And then in the running game, Tyler Ravelli, 16 carries, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns, 10.6 yards per carry. DeGoya had 10 carries for 76 yards, 7.6 yards per carry. Receiving, 5 catches for VC for 70 yards. Nate Henry had 4 for 82. Bobby and Sarah, 3 for 22. Braden Smith, 3 for 14. And then Cole Bordwaj was 18 of 35, 198 yards and a touchdown. Long of 43. He was sacked 3 times. Ben Thorson sacked just once. Thunder had just the lone turnover. Bonga on the dropped slant pass. And again, Augie continues its no turnovers for the entire season so far. So they take care of the ball and they can run it. That's a good formula for winning football. So on the defensive side for Augie, it had Darren Oregon, who had 11 total hits. Johnny Breeden had 8. Rondé Worrells 8. Ruckus Henkins had 7. And time of possession favors the Thunder, a little bit less than their average, but 32 minutes and 35 seconds to 27-25 of possession time for Augustana. Penalties, Thunder were penalized 6 for 60, and Augie was penalized 7 for 72. third down conversions, just 1 of 12 for Augie. The Thunder were 9 of 16 for around 60% there, which is a little bit better than their season average. And obviously those two stats are pretty big keys to this game.
Meanwhile, for Giovanni Weeks, we talked about the 4 touchdown performance, 3 on the ground, 1 through the air. That final one, his 51st touchdown in his career, was probably the most clutch, as it gave the Thunder a 2-score lead, now 87 yards shy of tying Sol Otechu for the most career rushing yards. And meanwhile, 2 rushing touchdowns shy of tying Chuck Schoner's record for the most rushing touchdowns.
Which is something. Those two, Solo Olateju and Chuck Schoner, those are legends in Wheaton. Sola just not so long ago, and Chuck Schoner's been around longer than I think Blanchard Hall.
Oh man, wow!
So he's an old timer, but he was good.
And Schoner's record, by the way, has stood for 74 years, and Weeks, only 2 rushing touchdowns away, could break it this season. He really has a good chance to break it.
He sure does. He's been an elite player for the Thunder, and he's gotten better every year. This year, he's more physical. He's just as fast. He's making plays out of the backfield in the pass game. He runs great routes, and so he really can do it all. And he's such a versatile player that you have to be wary of. And now the Thunder have added skilled players like Corton Hoven and Ben Bonga. And we haven't even heard that much from Ben Juska, who's a first-team All-Conference, preseason All-American tight end. Plenty of skill sets on this offensive Thunder team with 41 points here tonight. That's what they're going to have to do next week. They're going to have to figure out a way to control the ball against the best team in the country, North Central. It's going to be a huge battle for the Little Brass Bell, which is the trophy they play for and have for a long time. If you want to see the story on that, you can go on either school's website and read about it. But it's going to be a big battle. It's an afternoon game because it's Wheaton's homecoming, so the stands will be packed.
Yep.
North Central will show out.
Yep.
You're talking about what's going to be 2 top 10 teams, and it'll be a huge battle as usual. I think North Central's probably going to be pretty significantly favored, but in a battle for the Little Brass Bell, anything could happen.
Yeah, as seen in 2018, I believe the Thunder pulled off the upset against North Central, but that was also the same year. Actually, 2019, Wheaton pulled the upset. North Central went on to win the national championship, but only had that 1 loss, and that 1 loss was to the Thunder.
At homecoming here on this field.
Well, Doug, it's been a pleasure calling these last 2 home games with you. It's been such a joy. It's always been a dream of mine. And I just want to say thank you so much for being my partner.
Absolutely. Go Thunder.
Yep. Well, from all of us here on the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network and my co-host and Doug Rothschild, I'm Aiden Kong saying so long from Wheaton, Illinois.